You can make Esther the host.
I will do. I'm just going to double check that it's working. Yeah,
Yes.
there we go. And I'm going to make Esther the host. Let's see.
Live, Josie. I can see from here. You can make Esther the host.
I will do. I'm just going to double check. Okay. Okay, everyone, Esther's the host. You're live streaming now. If anyone has the link open, make sure to mute it or close it, because otherwise you'll get the echo. You'll hear yourself.
Thank you, Josie.
No worries. I'm going to leave you to it now. If you need anything else, don't hesitate to let me know.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Have a good session. Bye.
You also have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Shall we launch, Achan? Okay. And Esther, first half minute, you can show the entire panel. And then after that, you can put speaker mode and put recording first.
I'm starting the recording.
Dr. Vimal, if possible, please keep your video on.
Madam?
Your video, is it possible to, because first few seconds, we would like to show the panel to the participants.
Sure, madam. Just few minutes. I'll just a minute.
Darling Shelby, ma'am, only if the Zoom goes beyond 500, share the YouTube link.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would like to have the record here in our Zoom itself.
Okay. Let's see the possibilities and then launch the YouTube.
Yeah.
Check it.
Sir, if it is taking time, we will go live.
Oh, sure, madam. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yes, sir, you can launch.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon to each and every one of you present here. Thank you for joining us for the international webinar on ethics of digital and emerging technologies. I'm Rajula, the regional manager of Globethics South Asia Center that is based in Bangalore, India. Globethics is an international forum committed to ethics in higher education. This webinar is a joint effort of Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Rani Anna Government College of Women, Tirunelveli, and Globethics South Asia Center, Bangalore. With immense pleasure, we host this international webinar today. The title is Ethics of Digital and Emerging Technologies. We'll begin today's event with a keynote speech by Reverend Dr. Jose Nandikara. That will be followed by the presentation on ethics of digital and emerging technologies by Dr. Vimal Gerald. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. We are recording this webinar, and on request, we'll be able to share the recordings with you all, which you can watch and share with others to whom it will be useful. And during this webinar today, you can see only the speakers, but you as a participant, please use the chat box and it will be seen by everyone and recorded as part of the meeting. You're encouraged to share your own ideas and to ask questions using the Q&A box. We will ask our speakers to address as many of the questions that you put in the chat box as possible. Dr. Darling Selvi, Ms. Christine Hausel from Geneva, and myself will be moderating the webinar today. At this particular time, let me thank each and every one of you and welcome Dr. Darling Selvi, the coordinator of the Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Rani Anna Government College of Women, to take over the webinar floor. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Rajala, for the very nice words. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to the two-day international webinar on ethics on digital and emerging technologies. I am Dr. Darling Selvi, and on behalf of the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Raniana Government College for Women, Tirunelveli, and Globe Ethics South Asia Center, Bangalore, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. We appreciate your taking off your busy schedule to join us today. The international webinar is bringing together people from academic circles, faculty members, academic administrators, and research scholars in and across the world. The webinar provides a great opportunity for the participants to get to know multiple challenges faced by teaching and learning communities in higher education through technology. We hope you will find the program fruitful and engaging. We will end up the seminar at 5 p.m. and I'm sure it is going to be a great 3 hours of interaction and learning to all of us. As we all know, technology is indeed one of the fastest growing agents in the present world than ever before. The emerging technology has brought a significant transfer in information technology and development sector mainly. With over 750 million internet users, the plethora of fast-growing e-platforms and an increasing digital-first audience, the all-pervasive impact of technology in India is undeniable. It has been recognized as a critical catalyst for change across sectors, including education that underwent a paradigm shift. Reliance on technology, accelerated by the pandemic, made education more mobile and quality learning accessible to remote corners of the country. The most promising and enormously emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning also introduces ethical concerns, posing a risk to any organization which adopt such technologies. When we allow this type of technology to autonomously act in our systems, it becomes a critical concern to address ethical concerns as early as possible. Specifically, ethical considerations around privacy, disparate impact, and discrimination should be prioritized. As technology advances, we must think about how the technology we employ can impact ourselves, our communities, and our world. At this backdrop, the Globe Ethics South Asia and Raniana Government College for Women, Tirunelveli, have joined together to address the ethical issues on emerging technologies through this international webinar. It's my pleasure to welcome our beloved and ever dynamic principal, Dr. C.V. Maitri, who is the backbone of this program, the ever willing and ever smiling dear father, Reverend Dr. Jose Nandikara, the sole visionary of this program. Rajula, the person behind the screen, right from inception till execution. Then Christian Housel, who is always posed with a smiling face to interact with the people who are assembled over here. Then Rajula, the person behind the screen. Then the most resource person of the day, Dr. A. Vimal Gerald, Esther, and all the valuable participants who are connected here. Welcome you all again wholeheartedly. Now over to Rajula.
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Dr. Rajula, I'm sorry, you are not audible. We are not able to listen to you, I think.
perhaps I can go ahead and
Till-
introduce Father Jose. Okay, everybody, it's wonderful to be with you today. And it's my pleasure to introduce and welcome Reverend Dr. Jose Nandikara, who is the India National Director for Globe Ethics. He was formerly the Dean of the Faculty of Philosophy at Damaran Vidya Kestram in Bangalore, and the head of the Department of Philosophy and Theology at Christ University in Bangalore, and director of the Center for the Study of World Religions based in Bangalore. He's also been a visiting fellow at the University of Malaya in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, and at KU University in Leuven in Belgium. And he's also an international fellow of CAICID, which is based in Vienna, and about intercultural, interreligious exchange and dialogue. Father Jose holds a BSc in geology from Calicut University, a licentiate in philosophy from Gregorian University in Rome, an MA in philosophy and theology from Oxford University, and a PhD in philosophy from Warwick University in the UK. Father Jose is a Wittgensteinian scholar who contributes to the fields of philosophical anthropology, ethics, intercultural and interreligious dialogue, and philosophy of religion. He has authored a book and edited 6 volumes. He has contributed over 70 research articles in peer-reviewed journals and in edited volumes. Father Jose is guided by the Vedic vision, let noble thoughts come from all sides, in his interreligious work. And we see that he has just a wealth of experience and knowledge from which to share. And so we really look forward to hearing him on this very current and very important topic on the ethics of emerging and digital technologies. Please, we welcome you to deliver our keynote address, Father Jose.
Thank you very much, Christine Housel, for that warm welcome. Yes, indeed, I always keep in mind, let the noble thoughts, the noble people come from all sides. A webinar is a moment where many noble thoughts, many noble people come from different sides, different nationalities, different ethnic backgrounds. They come in search of wisdom and share, and we develop a vision and a mission. Today we are dealing with ethics of digital and emerging technologies. Thank you very much, Rani Anna College, the principal, and the Dr. Rani, Darling Selvi, and the organizers of Globe Ethics, Rajula, Ms. Christine Housel, and Esther Ghosh, for providing me this opportunity to share my thoughts. I'm a student of philosophy, and philosophers are a rare breed. In another way, all are philosophers. We all ask fundamental questions. Philosophers insist on asking those questions which most of us have raised in our childhood, and later we were told to keep quiet. Philosophy provides us that opportunity and freedom to raise questions. What is it? How is it? Why is it? When is it? So I will be raising some general questions, general topics to underline the importance of ethics. We have digital and emerging technologies. We are living in a digital era. This is like the moment when humanity encountered fire. That was a dangerous one, but very useful one. Even today, human beings cannot live without fire. Yet, fire causes enormous distraction. This is true distraction. This is true about any power, intellectual power, linguistic power, any power, nuclear energy, digital technologies. They can be used very well to advance and to end poverty, to end hunger, to provide sustainable peace, prosperity for people and planet. But these digital and emerging technologies can also destroy the whole planet. Therefore, it is imperative on us as educators and leaders to reflect on digital and emerging technologies from an ethical point of view. Let me start with the story of Alfred Nobel. All of us know about the Nobel Prizes. He lived 1833 to 1896. He held 355 patents, dynamite being the most famous. There was an incident in his life. In 1888, his brother Ludwig died in France from a heart attack. A French newspaper thought it was Alfred, not Ludwig, who died. And our hero, Alfred Nobel, had the fortune or misfortune of reading his own obituary. The French newspaper titled him Merchant of Death and wrote, Dr. Alfred Nobel, who became rich by finding ways to kill more people faster than ever before, died yesterday. He was naturally shocked. Is this how people would remember me? And this is for us an opportunity. How would people remember me in the future? What legacy do I leave with my life? Against the wishes of his family and friends, he bequeathed his fortune to institute the Nobel Prizes for those who during the preceding year shall have conferred the greatest benefit on humanity. Dear friends, that's the question. What is my contribution to people and to the planet? You have seen Greta Thunberg, a young lady, shouting and crying against the world leaders. In 2019, she spoke to the world leaders. She said, people are suffering, people are dying, entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction. And all you can talk, she's addressing the world leaders about money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you? The politics and solutions needed are still nowhere in sight. Dear friends, we are led by economics. Our science, our technologies, our politics, our market are driven by economics. And thereby, the market-driven society look for instant profit. That is not going to be sustainable. Only if something is ethical, it will be sustainable. Let me come back, relax a little bit, and look at who are we. I suggest 5 pillars of human existence and life. Our first desire is for survival, like any biological being, whether it is a plant, animal, or a human being. Our first interest is to survive. Secondly, our interest is pleasure, happiness. All human beings desire happiness. Thirdly, we look for well-being. And in that search for survival, pleasure, and well-being, we have 5 elements, 5 pillars. 1, we are rational animals. Therefore, we distinguish between appearance and reality, which animals cannot do. And that we say as truth and appearance. And we have the capacity to tell lies. Animals cannot tell lies. Birds cannot. Plants cannot. For us, it's possible. And also we have a search. Science and technology develops from this search for truth. Secondly, we not only distinguish between what is the case and what seems to be the case, we also distinguish between what is the case and what ought to be the case. We are ethical beings. So first and foremost, we are rational beings. Secondly, we are ethical beings. We make a distinction between what is the case and what ought to be the case. There is care. There is a care for the other. At the survival level, we are interested in the survival of the individual. At the next level, we are interested in the survival of the species. With the pleasure and comfort also, we are interested in the pleasure of the individual and of the community. At the rate, when we move to the third level, as ethical beings, we are not just interested in survival and pleasure, but well-being. Well-being of all, not just the individual, not just the humanity, but the whole planet with all the living beings. Then comes what is unique to human beings. We are political beings. We gather together, arrange ourselves. There are judiciary, executive, and legislative powers. We gather together. And by and large, most of the countries are democratic countries where we uphold the values of justice, equality, liberty, fraternity. Equally, we are also aesthetic beings. We have a sense of beauty and we develop culture. Music, dance, cinema, painting, number of ways we find in what is the case and what ought to be the case, and also a beauty, the face of beauty. Fifthly, which I underlined in my earlier minute, economics. Money matters. Nowadays, unfortunately, I would say, money drives our knowledge, politics, and culture. That is not sustainable, including for the digital technologies and emerging technologies. Therefore, we need ethically aligned, ethically guided technologies. Only then we will survive. As educators and leaders, we cannot remain insensitive to the inequalities that persist in the world of Homo sapiens, Homo politicus, and Homo economicus. The scandal of inequalities, corruption, new forms of poverty, exploitations are on the increase. Human rights are violated. Multinationals pose threats to local industries and initiatives. We moved through 4 industrial revolutions. First industrial revolution using steam power to mechanize production. Second industrial revolution using electric power to create mass production. Third industrial revolution using electronics and IT to automate production. Now we are entering at the threshold of the 4th with mobile technology, nanophysics, Internet of Things, biotechnology, robotics, genetics. We are moving very, very fast. And thereby blurring and merging the distinction between the real and the virtual, physical and mental, biological and technical, intellectual and artificial intelligence. Driven by the power of science and technology, human interventions in the last century paved way for the extinction of many species, and the very survival of the earth is at risk. We live in an ailing planet, dear sisters and brothers. Our common home is in danger. We cannot live healthy and happy in a sick planet. We cannot continue to live ignoring the cry of the people and the cry of the planet. Economic worldviews put cash values to all the natural resources, product of science and technology, including the digital and emerging technologies, and even people. They are only for those who have money, economic resources. Ecology and economy dance to the tunes of human hubris and greed, forgetting the poor who do not have money to pay, causing extinction of species and destruction of Earth. Such worldviews negated or sideline the rights of people and other living beings. They are threats to the survival of people and planet. And peace and prosperity. An economy with maximization of profit is not sustainable, and it is morally wrong to live by such a worldview at the expense of others. We need an economics of enough and an ethics of care. You are familiar with the Sustainable Development Goals. They declared, we can be the first generation to succeed in ending poverty. But they warn us, just as we may be the last to have a chance of saving the planet, let us resolve to build a better future for all people, including the millions who have been denied the chance to lead decent, dignified, and rewarding lives and to achieve their full human potential. Dr. Vimal Gerald would speak, I hope, on the details of the digital technologies. Let me just briefly name 10 areas of concern. I just say the title. We need more time, and during this 2 days webinar, you will come across some of them and some of them which I have not mentioned. One would be the challenge of privacy and data protection. If you have a mobile with you, you are no longer private. Every conversation, every moment is recorded. And algorithmic bias and fairness. The way they record depends on who wrote the algorithm. And depending on that, we are human beings. We have our prejudgments and we have our prejudices. That would put people in different. We do not start the Rawlsian veil of ignorance. We do not start equal. We are never equal. And thirdly, autonomy and control. As human beings, after the Renaissance, we thought we are in control with our rationality and freedom. Now, often, we are not in control, the machines are in control. And transparency and explainability. With our advancing technologies, the digital divide is increasing. We will not be able to be that transparency and privacy. These would collide, and we need to find a harmonic balance. Similarly, security and cybersecurity. Security is our concern, but when the security is enhanced, our freedom is limited. Here also we need to find a balance. Only ethics can provide that balance. Impact on employment. As new technologies emerge, people move away. They do not have the dignity of human beings and the dignity of work at stress. And the gap between the rich and the poor, the able and the disabled, and digital netizens and digital illiterate, that's increasing. And digital divide and accessibility, environment and sustainability. With the fast growing industrial revolution, the planet suffered the most. And now, if the planet suffers, all of us who live in it, plants, other species, animals would suffer. As the species went away, they are extinct. Days are nearer when human species also will be subject to this extinction. Accountability and governance. Recently, there is a new bill in the parliament with regard to the accountability, transparency, and security. So these are different areas. I'm sure we will be discussing and debating. May there be more light thrown on. Keep in mind, unless we are ethical, we are not human. Unless we are ethical, nothing is sustainable. Ethics involves care. Ethics begins not with me, but with the other. And the other, the poorest. I conclude with the hope and prayer of Pope Francis. May our webinar, learning and discussion benefit all, so that the peoples of the earth will be fed, given to drink, healed and educated. May political life and economy of peoples receive from us, educators, leaders, indications on how to advance with greater certainty towards the common good for the benefit, especially of the poor and those in need, and towards respect for our planet. Thank you very much. God bless all of us.
Thank you very much, Father Jose, for launching us with a challenging and inspiring word. We do have a moment for exchange. Does anybody have a question for Father Jose? You can put it in the Q&A box or even in the chat. Does anybody have a question or a comment that you'd like to put out there into the discussion? Because what we're aiming to do throughout this time together is to get thinking and begin a debate and begin a critical thinking process about this really challenging issue. Okay, so Father Jose, we hear that we are ethical beings, among others, and we hear that it's more necessary than ever to remember that as we think about the many and interlocking challenges and crises our world is facing. And I do have a couple of questions. So, well, these are on the high level, which is where you started us. So there's one question which says, what is philosophy and how does it relate to ethics? And a related question, is it possible to be good at all?
Thank you for the question. That's a nice one. Philosophy is a vision, providing a vision. In the Indian tradition, it's called darshan, a vision of life, a vision of the world, where we ask the fundamental questions. And ethics is a branch of philosophy, moral philosophy. We think about the goodness of it. Why do we call something as good? And on values, right, wrong, justice. These are the questions that is dealing with in ethics. That's a very large branch. Everything that is human has an ethical dimension. So there is an ethics of everything that is human has a philosophical dimension. That would be our rational dimension, simply asking the question, why do I do what I do now? And the other question, is that valuable? So those ethics would be whether it is biology, economics, politics, in every branch, there is an ethical dimension. Philosophy looks at the general dimensions. It's called moral philosophy. Generally, we would say there are three branches: utilitarian ethics, the ontological ethics, and the virtue ethics. Another day we shall discuss. Another question that came was, is it possible to be good to all? That's a very good question. We could also ask, is it possible to be bad to all? No. So what should we do and what is possible? Grades of perfection. Because we are unable to be good to all, we start with our own world, from the home, from the neighborhood, ever increasing concentric circles, with a wish good to all, ill to none. And how would I do? Within my limitations, within my givenness. So always there is room for improvement. I never reach 100%, but I am never zero. So is it possible to be good to all? Yes. In some cases, we pray. Loga samasto sukhino bhavantu. May the whole world be happy. That's a wish. May you be blessed. That's a wish and prayer. And when I do that, equally, I try to be good in my neighborhood, where I see the people, where I could stretch out a hand.
Father Jose, are ethics different for different individuals?
Same question and in the same, different grades. There are differences. I said 3 different branches. One is virtue ethics, one is utilitarian ethics, one is deontological ethics. These are 3 large branches. Is knowledge the same for all? There are differences. My expertise and Christine, your expertise are in different fields. A medical person will have another area. So our ethics also, the guiding principles would there be differences, but there will be similarities and differences. Look at the fundamental rights, human rights. Are they same for all? That's what we hold. Though in practice, we all of us are not equal, but there is a dignity for all human beings. So there are something that is similar to all and something different. If everyone is different, we will not be able to have this webinar. We speak English, though with different accents, though with a different, there is a grammar, but we make some changes. So the ethics also have the fundamentals are the basic. Do good, avoid evil. But the question is, what is good? What is evil? Have degrees of variation. So to the question I answer, yes and no. But we have a family resemblance.
And Father Jose, you know, when we get into these issues, these specific ethical issues, like the ethics of emerging technologies, perhaps we see this especially, we need to debate what is good and what is evil. And this is really at the heart of the debate. So we don't have too much more time, but I'm going to put this question out there, let you respond. And then I see Dr. Vimal in the room, and, you know, we're going to come back to you and engage this question and similar questions with you and with speakers even into tomorrow. So the question is, how can we mitigate the effects of emerging technology? Will legislative maneuvers, that's an interesting word, be enough for this? And so please give us your initial comments.
Yes, just one sentence. Now we are all geared, the United Nations, on the Sustainable Development Goals. What is sustainable is ethical. What is ethical? Sustainable. So check whether what you propose, the digital technologies and emerging technologies, are they sustainable? Do they take care of the poor? When Mahatma Gandhi was asked this question, Gandhi said, imagine the poorest person. And if it will be good for that poorest person, this is good. Emerging technologies and digital technologies, if they are good for the poor, the weakest, they are good. They are sustainable. Let's all resolve to work for sustainable peace and prosperity for people and planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father Jose. So we've heard a lifting up of the ethical vision, and then a proposal for some criteria to apply when it comes to emerging technology. Is it sustainable, and does it respond to the needs of the poor? So let's see what our other speakers throughout today and tomorrow have to say to this question. what are some ethical criteria for digital and emerging technologies, and what's the role of legislation? So let's all get thinking about this, and we'll continue to engage. Thank you, Father Jose, and we give you a virtual round of applause. And I
Thank
turn
you
the
very
floor
much.
back over.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And we have our next speaker, I believe.
Yeah. Good afternoon again, one and all. Dr. A. Vimal Gerald is working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science, St. Joseph College, Trichy, since 2009. He has completed his MCA, MPhil, and PhD in computer science and is greatly blessed to be placed in the institution where he studied, a rare privilege and indeed a dream to everyone. To his credit, he has a number of indexed publications. He has delivered 250 plus invited talks in the national and international seminars, special talks, trainings, workshops, etc., in India and Nepal also. Especially, he has trained more than 25,000 faculty members in the online and offline faculty development programs, short-term courses, HRDC faculty induction programs, refresher courses, training programs, and workshops organized by various universities and colleges across India, many of which were sponsored by University Grants Commission, MHRD, MOE, AICTE, and Department of Biotechnology. He has contributed number of book chapters for a printed book, and he has also authored a chapter on multimedia in the book Computer Literacy. He has accomplished a UGC minor project titled Design and Development of Integrated Internet of Things, Smart Services Environment. He is a member of professional bodies such as ASDF London, INSC Bangalore, and IEEE. He is a recipient of Global Award for the Best Computer Science Faculty from London by ASDF. He has received Best Teacher Award by Institute of Scholars, Bangalore. St. Joseph's College has honored him with the Best Teacher Award for the year 2021. The Best Researcher Award for Science is also bestowed upon him for twice. He has been bestowed with Kamarajar Award by Integral Training Center, Qatar. He serves as a consultant for a software company and for many colleges in designing websites, e-content development, implementing online tools for teaching, learning, and evaluation, and also for the conduct of online FDPs and webinars. He strongly believes that technology can be effectively made use by disseminating knowledge and skills to the students effectively by proper execution. He is here to make his presentation on ethics of digital and emerging technologies. Let us all give a virtual round of applause and welcome Dr. A. Vimal Gerald. Please take over the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, madam, for the compliments and kind words. Thanks a lot. Reverend Dr. Jose, the National Director of Globe Ethics, Mrs. Esther Gose, Mrs. Christine Housel, Mrs. Rajula, Dr. Darling Selvi, Dr. Maithili, and all the unit heads of Globe Ethics and members of Globe Ethics and the members of organizing team. And my dear professors, teachers, professionals, student friends who are connected online, a very happy afternoon. I'm very glad indeed to be part of this webinar. I deem it a great honor given to me by Globe Ethics and Rani Anna Government College. I'm very much thankful to Team Globe Ethics and Dr. Darling Selvi for this wonderful opportunity. My dear friends, Globe Ethics have given us a wonderful opportunity to listen to people like Father Jose and others who are going to speak tomorrow. It is the need of the hour. It is the order of the day. we all of us cannot live without technology, without digital gadgets. Digital gadgets govern us these days. We cannot see a life, we cannot live without the gadgets. We are controlled by technology, we are controlled by the data, we are controlled by smart applications. So when we enjoy the benefits of technology, we should also think of the ethics behind. And what is digital ethics is all about, and what are the emerging technologies in which, how could we follow digital ethics? I'm here to present you first with a presentation, then and end of the day, end of today and tomorrow, we are going to have demonstration of few tools, how ethically we can make use of those emerging tools for academic purposes. My dear friends, let me just take you for the presentation. Kindly hold for a moment until I share my screen. I suppose participants, could you please tell me whether am I audible to everyone? Just press 1 in the chat. Just press 1 in the chat if everything is okay. Just press 1 in the chat if everything is okay from my side. If you are able to listen to me properly, if you are able to see my screen, if my video is okay, yes, I could get so many responses. Thank you. Even in the afternoon, you are so much interactive. Okay. So dear participants, we are going to have a presentation on digital ethics and the emerging technology. The demonstration on emerging technology will be done tomorrow. Kindly bear with me for the presentation. Basically, we should understand what is digital ethics. We are all very much, at ethics. We live ethical life. But what is digital ethics? That's what we are going to just have. And we have listened to Father Jose, who has set the tone for the topic digital ethics with emerging technology. Now, dear participants, I request all of you to understand what is digital ethics at the end of the day. And I want you to acquaint the factors contributing digital ethics. And I want all of us to practice digital ethics in our day-to-day activities as academicians and in professional life. And I want you all to effectively use emerging technology with ethical use, with moral bound. These are all some of the expectation or outcomes at the end of the day or end of the webinar. Dear participants, the entire world has become digital. The whole world is connected. Whole world has become shrinked into a small village. If something happens at 2,000 kilometers or 2,000 miles away, we are able to get it in no time because of the connection, because of the technology. We are able to connect to anyone. We are able to develop conversation face to face, seeing each other, because of technology. The digital world has given human ease of life, and we live with ease. And our living has become very smart. Yes, we live a smart life. Those days, have any of us imagined that we walk with internet? Just to check with the results, we need to wait for 10 minutes. Now we are, with fast connections, 5G. Within no time, we are able to download a movie. We are able to watch a movie with Netflix or any platforms. We are, for paying our bills, particularly for electricity bill, if where to be elders, we ask elders at home. We need to avail CL, half-day CL to pay our electricity bill, our phone bill, standing in long queue. But it is not so. We are able to pay the bill immediately with UPI applications. And if you want to get something on, we need to go spend time physically with the shop, getting into a shop and buying things. Now, it is enough that you order things. It will be delivered at the doorstep. Not only gadgets, food. These days we have no cooking January, no cooking, no cooking month. A lot of, offers being given. And every day food is being delivered at our doorstep, whatever that is needed. And even at the roadside, grandma who is selling govas, we used to pay with, UPIs. There is a transformation, EFT, electronic fund transfer. And we seldom visit the banks. We don't go to banks for credit or debit of accounts or money. We are able to do it with our smart gadgets. Booking tickets, but traveling in rail or traveling in flight, it is an easy job now. We don't need to look for an agent. It is done within no time with the smart gadgets. Our life has become very, very smart. We are enjoying the benefits of technology. And dear professors, it's going to be much more smarter. And we are, Father talked about Industry 1, Industry 2, Industry 4, and now we are at Industry 4.0. Actually, Industry 5.0 has evolved, and we are, European countries are at it. Now in India, we are at Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 has made human life much more interesting, much more smarter. We have a hotel based at Chennai, food being served by a robot. School based at Bangalore, deployed a robot to answer the question by the students. We have, first humanoid robot, namely Sophia, introduced. These are all some of the examples of Industry 4.0. What are the technologies that contribute Industry 4.0? We've got big data. We accumulate data. For example, all of us are connected now with Zoom. It is the connection of computers or smart gadgets or network of some smart gadgets. Now, Internet of Things envisages connecting different things, both living and non-living. Living, human beings, trees, animals can be connected. Non-living, air, pressure, monitor, virtual things, or maybe gadgets, electronic gadgets, they can be connected. For what? For deploying smart applications. When we connect things, from these things, connected things, we infer information 24/7. Imagine if, 20 billion devices. There is a survey that tells us that every person, everybody in the world, we use at least 7 things which are connected to the Internet of Things, by which 24/7 we infer, collect information. A huge amount of data, huge volume of data is being collected 24/7. When there is a huge volume of data connected, when all of us are connected, when our environment is connected, when we are monitored, we need to bound by ethics. Yes, digital ethics. When we enjoy the smart life driven by technology, we should also bound by moral. We should also bound by ethics. So let us talk about digital ethics. Professors, you see, participants, you see, there are very many applications. For example, in future, we will not even have mobile phones. In 10 years' time, I hope, in 10 years' time, we will not have mobile phones. We will instead have a wearable, a goggle like, through which we'll be able to control everything. All that we see in the mobile phone could be visible in the goggle. We are all aware of metaverse technology. For example, if you want to attend, for example, Father Jose is there in Bangalore and Miss Christian is somewhere. So if you want to meet together virtually, it is possible to handshake the metaverse. If all of us virtually meet, it is possible to meet everyone. We can even handshake. It is possible with the help of technology called the metaverse. There are so many technologies that contribute a smooth and ease and smart life of human being. So when we think of these technologies, it accumulates huge data, as I said. When we enjoy the benefits of technology, we should raise a question in mind. Do we follow digital ethics? Individuals, companies, industries, institutions, government, do we follow digital ethics? We should think of this question strongly. Now, from where do we collect data? From where do we get data? What are the major sources of data? These days, every one of us connect to 2-3 social media platforms. At least, I'm talking about least. Now we are connected to Twitter, we are connected to WhatsApp, we are connected to Facebook, we are connected to whatnot. Through which large amount of data is being accumulated. And I told you about Internet of Things. We have different sensors. Different sensors 24/7 infer information, and it is all being accumulated, inferred, and taken to cloud for processing. Huge data is being generated, gathered. And we have public web data, through websites, through email, or through different access, we generate data. These are all some of the major sources of data. So when I make use of the data of somebody, is it ethics? Is it moral? So as I told you at the beginning, we should be, all of us should raise the question: individuals, institutions, industries, do we follow digital ethics when we collect data to different means? Now, before we move on for the nuances of digital ethics, let us just explore what do we actually mean by what is all about digital ethics. As all of us are very much aware that ethics, everybody is aware of ethics. All of us are bound by ethics, our own societal view of the society or where we live. We are governed, we are controlled, we are monitored, we lead a life of ethics. Now, all of us live with technology, with digital devices. So we need also to be governed by digital ethics. What is digital ethics? Digital ethics refers to moral principles and guidelines that govern ethical behavior and responsible use of ICT tools and gadgets or technologies, ICT technologies. Also, the use of data in various contexts. Data is being accumulated from different sources. Digital ethic also, aims at, ethical challenges and implications that arise from increasing and integration of digital technology into our daily lives. We are integrated with smart applications so that our life becomes smarter. But at the same time, we should also understand the challenges and implications, that arise due to this. Now, dear participants, let me also just give you now, before we move on, we shall take up a poll. Now, all of us understand what is digital ethics. Now, when we use technology, we should also be aware of the rules and regulations that govern digital ethics. Now, dear participants, I want all of you to take up your mobile or a computer. Please go to slido.com. I want all of you to please go to slido.com. Please go to slido.com. Or the second methodology is that you can scan this. You can use QR code scanner or Google Lens to scan this. Am I clear to you? Please go to your browser using mobile or laptop. Go to slido.com. This is method one. Secondly, just scan this QR code. You will be able to join the poll. I would like to have a poll. I suppose many of you are connecting. I'm just connecting you with a poll. Kindly hold for a moment. I'm connecting you with a poll. I'm just trying to share the screen of the poll from the PowerPoint. Kindly hold for a moment. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Now, I suppose many of you have joined. Let me wait for all of you. Yes. Now, look at here. I think some of you have joined. Now, the first poll number one. Poll number one. As academicians, many of us are academicians. Some of us are professionals. Have you gone against digital ethics, disrespecting others online, going against the moral, ethical bound? Just to get to know. Don't be offended. Don't be offended. Just explore ourselves. Just to explore ourselves. I will give you the details of digital ethics later. Just want to know. Just let us self-explore. Have I gone against digital ethics ever? People have genuinely said, some of you have said always. Yes. As teachers, we have copied sources. We have reprographed, made use of others' content. These are all against digital ethics. I'm really very glad that 63% of you have not at all, have never gone against digital ethics. I'm really very happy. And now slowly it is decreasing. Yes. I suppose all of you are able to see the results. Now, as and when you give your opinion, we get the results. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, dear participants, for genuinely sharing your opinion. It is just to self-explore. You know, as academicians, we must educate our children, educate our students. We have bound duty to do that. First, we should follow digital ethics as we are living in digital era, and we should also educate our children to follow digital ethics. Now, I'm happy that many of you have given your opinion, that 65% of you have said that never you have gone against digital ethics. Fine, congratulations. Occasionally, because we have no other choice, we have occasionally gone in. And always, 7 of you have said always. Okay. Because all that, you know, Windows or any operating system that we use, we need to purchase. If you have not purchased, if you are using cracked version, it is against digital ethics. Cracked version, they are against, you know, the use of cracked versions are against digital ethics. These are all some of the examples of digital ethics, practical examples. Okay. Now, thank you for this. Now, let me also ask you, what are the different means of, different practice that against digital ethics? What is, in case if you have involved or indulged in the practice against digital ethics? Just wanted to explore. What are the different occasions and what are the practice that I have gone against digital ethics? Could you please give me your answers, opinion? What is the practice when you have gone against digital ethics? Piracy, yes, data piracy, using others' content without their acknowledgement, without the due acknowledgement. Plagiarism, yes, we have used the content of others, but without acknowledgement. Cyberbullying, harassing, unethical practice, copyright issues, you know, copying, reprography of the content, books, digital books, without the knowledge, downloading the digital books, downloading papers through sources without payment, cracked usage of cracked versions, software piracy, download digital books, yes, without, there are books which could not be downloaded freely, but we have downloaded, eating heads of others, yes, certainly cyberbullying, privacy, piracy, plagiarism. Yes, now the plagiarism is paraphrasing, great, paraphrasing, false referencing, giving false reference. We have done it. Occasionally, we have done it. Many of us, plagiarism has become bigger now because all of us as teachers, all of us as faculty members, when we have done PhD research, we should have written papers. Sometimes, it goes beyond the limit of plagiarism. So I'm happy that so many of you have given your, the practices that we do regularly. Academicians, we do regularly against digital ethics. Now, thank you for your genuine response, dear participants. I'm just stopping here and moving. I want us to understand what are the different practices that we involve in day-to-day activities. Now, let me share the presentation for you. Kindly hold for a moment. I'm sharing the presentation. Thank you for your genuine answers. Right, the poll is over. Now, see, digital ethics is an essential framework to guide responsible development of AI, artificial intelligence, or responsible development of technology, responsible development of applications, responsible development of technological product. Please understand, digital ethics, it is a framework to guide scientists or to guide engineers to develop something responsibly. Secondly, we should, after development, the product or gadget should be responsibly deployed for ethical life. And we should use those digital technologies or applications in a responsible way. And we should also balance between, it may be innovative, but it may not be ethics. It may not be ethical. So we should balance between innovation and ethical consideration. Though there may be, it may be attracting. The innovation, maybe innovative practices may be attracting, but it should not go against digital ethics. So digital ethics is a framework to guide engineers or industries to develop responsible product and to deploy the same in a responsible way and to make use of the same by the people, by us, in a responsible way. And we should keep that in mind. We should strike a balance between innovation and ethical consideration. Now, dear participants, I just would like to talk to you about a few key areas of digital ethics. Now, I shall just give you, just highlight a few, and I will emphasize these in detail later. Now, when we talk about digital ethics, privacy and data protection play a vital role. Yes, digital ethiks that emphasizes importance of respecting individuals' privacy. Now, I need to respect. Our father said beautifully well, we need to have, sustainable, harmony. When we want to live in a sustainable harmony, we need to respect others. It is not only respecting myself. So we need to respect the privacy of others, privacy rights. And we need to safeguard their personal data. For example, if I collect the data of my students, I need to safeguard. I need not, give it to somebody else. We need to safeguard. And organizations should implement certain measures to ensure data security, and there should be transparency of collecting data. People should know that your data is being accumulated or your data is being collected. Now we should know. So privacy and data protection plays a vital role today. And transparency and accountability. It is a major factor of digital ethics. We need to be transparent in all our processes. Yes, transparency is something vital in the digital realm to maintain trust and accountability. If not, things go wrong. You go against digital ethics. Industries and institutions should use digital tech. Those who use digital technology should be open. Should be open. What are the processes that they go? They should release the digital policy. It should be open. It should be in black and white. And the industries and institutions, we should be honest about the practices, about the processes, about the algorithm that we write, about the decision-making process, how the decision is made using the technology, process of selection, all those. It should be open and plain. It should be put into black and white. And thirdly, we should think of algorithmic decision-making. These days we are governed by artificial intelligence. Natural intelligence is that, for example, if I'm giving a talk here from a room, from a studio, if there is a fire set, I run away. It is my natural intelligence. The fire will hurt and it will create havoc. I'll run away. If the machine does the same, if the machine is able to think as I think, as the human being does things, that is artificial intelligence. We are infusing, intelligence into machine. We are, feeding intelligence into gadgets, smart machines. That is intelligence. Now it is nowadays, these days, machine taking decisions, machine-based decisions, machine-controlled decisions, machine-driven decisions, or technology-driven decisions. Is it good? But we have no other go than making use of artificial intelligence. It is a boon, of course. But at the same time, artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithm play an increasing role in decision making, as we all know. But we need to think of the ethical questions that arise, connecting the potential impacts of individuals and society. So digital ethics calls for, responsible AI design and audit. Often we need to think whether it is ethically bound, whether it is ethically right. What we do is whether ethically right. Now we may develop a robot to do something, but is it ethically right? We need to think of, before writing algorithms, before making decisions, using algorithmic approach. And dear participants, we are all very much aware of digital divide, and we should think of inclusion. In one side, people enjoy the benefits of technology. The other side, there are places where there are no electricity. We should think of digital divide and inclusion. When I'm able to enjoy the benefits of technology, benefits of internet, I should think of my brotherhood, whether he is able to enjoy the same benefits. So digital divide should be filled. We should ensure equal access of digital technology, and which is very much crucial. It is crucial to bridge the gap between people who enjoy the benefit, the privileged and underprivileged. We should ensure that these digital services are inclusive in nature. If I am able to enjoy, and my brother should also be able to enjoy with a due permission, with a due authorization. And any technology, when it is brought, it should be accessible by everyone equally. So keep that in mind. The digital divide and inclusion should be there. For example, in our institution, if we try to implement certain things, technological advancements, we should think whether all the students will be able to enjoy the benefits. If not, we should bridge the gap. If not, we should think of making everybody enjoy the benefit. So all our digital services should be of inclusive and accessible to everyone. We should make sure in our educational institutions at least. And dear participants, the next factor I would like to deal with that online harassment and cyberbullying. It is quite common these days. Digital ethics that should advocate for creating safe online environment. For example, women are using, children are using. So we should create and we should advocate for creating a safe online environment. I should feel safe. I should be secured in online. When I'm connected, I should feel that I'm not supervised. My data is not being misused. So we should create a digital environment without cyberbullying. And we should not spread hate speech or foster, we should not, create disrespectful conversations in our post, in our tweets, in our, postings, in our reels. We should be very, very careful, respecting everyone. We need to respect everyone, whoever they are, wherever they are from, whichever country they are from. We need to morally bound, and we should educate our children to make use of digital platforms bound by ethics. We should be guided by ethics. If not, we cannot create, we cannot think of platform which is safe. And dear professors, dear participants, we are all aware of IPR, intelligent property right, and intelligent IPR and copyright. These days, it has become quite common of copying the copyrighted materials. Extracting the information from IPR protected information. We need to be aware of these. Digital technologies that facilitate easy distribution and sharing of content. Though it is simple, though it is easy, I'm able to download a book which is copyrighted. I'm able to crack software which is copyrighted. I'm able to use the idea of somebody which is under IPR. But still, are these practices are morally bound? We need to think. So we should respect the creators' right. We should respect the developers' right. We should, create a culture of respecting, copyright permissions. We should be morally guided when we use copyrighted content and information. And ethical use of big data. I have told you about different technologies that contribute Industry 4.0. Because of that, we accumulate large data. Handling vast amount of data, it raises ethical concerns. Now, how are the data is being collected? People know about the data is being collected with their consent. Where do we store the data? How do we use the data? All that are bigger concerns. There should be transparency. When huge amount of data is being used, we get the mails We get often mails from, unknown resources, unknown sources. Is it morally correct? Is it ethically bound? So digital ethics should urge, and we should, urge responsible use and protection of big data to avoid misuse and negative consequences. Though we enjoy the benefits of Industry 4.0, we should also insist the responsible use of protection of big data that is accumulated from Industry 4.0. And finally, ethical use of social media. I've told you about, ethical use of social media. All of us are in more than 3 social media platforms. It infers so much of data. Ethical consideration in use of social media platforms that includes promoting healthy interactions. I should interact in a healthy manner. I should not spread hatred. I should prevent misinformation. I should not pass on the misinformation. I should not misguide people with my false information. And I should ensure well-being of others. Again, all these factors that I've told you, key factors that should lead, sustainable, harmony by every human being. This should not be only to me. This should not be only to you. This should be for everyone. So these are all key factors as academicians we should follow. Dear participants, these key, key nuances and key factors of digital ethics, which form a framework to guide responsible development, responsible deployment, responsible use of digital technology, same time considering ethical use of technology, ethical use of data of individuals and society, and we should create a safe environment. Also, we should think of balancing between innovation and ethical considerations. So I hope all of you have understood so far whatever I have dealt. Have you all understood? Am I making sense to you connecting the topic? I think there is a question. When this year you are going to launch Globe Ethics ranking? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. If everything is okay, just press 1. Just press 1. Just press 1, dear participants. If you are able to connect with me, or if you are able to understand what I'm dealing with. Participants, we are going to have demonstrations. Don't worry, we are going to have enough demonstrations for this at the end of the day. At the same time, we should know theoretical base of digital ethics. Only then we can develop, or we can make the children grow with digital ethics. Thank you. Thank you, dear participants. Thank you. Now I'm going to deal everything. I'm going to deal all these in an elaborated manner. Now, how could we contribute for privacy? You can tell me now. You can also suggest me. How could we, how could we create privacy? How could we contribute? How could we overcome privacy concerns? Now we have got a lot of privacy concerns. Huge amount of data is being accumulated. For example, Google follows every bit of our move. Now, wherever I go, Google takes care of, traces my transport. Wherever I go, that gives me data. How many hours that I spend, it will be able to, we are able to take, and where did I visit today? Which hotel that I had my breakfast today? All that are being collected. When we purchase things online, they are able to analyze my sentiments. When we accumulate personal data, the privacy concern arises. Are these data being used morally by the institutions and industries? How are we going to overcome this? Can you suggest me some means of overcoming privacy data, privacy concerns? Providing proper terms and conditions. Very good, Dr. Indam. Thank you. Providing proper terms and conditions, proper drafting policies. Yes, we need to draft policies. Anything else? Just suggest me some ideas to overcome privacy concerns. I've told you about, through legal terms. We need to be creating legal terms. Great. SSL certificate. Yeah, technically speaking, we need to have, we need to bound by SSL certificate so that our data is being secured, so that it could not be used by, invaded by others or intruded by others with various attacks and so on. I'm not talking in terms of technical terms today. I'm just talking in terms of humanity with digital ethics. And checking the options already checked before signing in. Yes, before signing in or signing off, we should check whether we have done things, we have logged in properly, we have logged out properly. Very good. Developing security plan. We need to develop security plan for our institution, for individuals. Creating strong password. Okay, that's great. Time to time, we need to change the password. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now let me give my own perceptions of going safeguarding privacy, and how do we address privacy concerns. As I told you earlier, huge amount of personal data is by being collected by technological companies. There is also possibility of potential misuse of the data. So what should the company do? Company should create a policy. It can be a company, it can be an institution which collect data of students. We receive lots of applications. What do we do with the application? Are we giving the application, passing on the application to some other institution without the consent of others? So when huge volume of data, personal data is being collected by both companies and institutions and different societies, there are possibility of misuse. How are we going to overcome? See, we should create strong policies of using data, and we should protect the personal data, and we should also explore the consequences of different consequences of breaches, of impact, the impact of privacy, data being misused on individuals and organizations. For example, if I misuse the data of a private person, I'm misusing data of somebody. If I'm misusing data of an institution, data of an institution is being misused. We should understand and we should explore the consequences. If we explore the consequences, we will not indulge. The industries will not indulge. The consequences may not affect the company. The consequences may not affect the individual who indulge, but it creates huge impact in the society, in the individuals. So we need to create awareness. We need to create strong policies. Also, we need to emphasize the need of getting consent from users. If I use technology, I should know my data is being inferred. Without the knowledge, people or industry should not collect data of mine. So importance of consent should be made aware among our students and among within ourselves. So we should emphasize the need of informed consent when collect data for personal data of someone personally when we collect data. So these are all some of the means to overcome privacy. Now, secondly, when we talk about cyber security, how are we going to protect cyberspace? How are we going to enjoy the benefits of technology in a secured manner? Cyber security is the term of using or enjoying the benefits of technology in a safe and secured manner. The first thing for cyber security is protecting personal information. Yes, we need to explain, or we need to understand the different measures by ourselves, and we need to educate our children to safeguard sensitive information from cyber threats. If somebody makes a threat, threatening us by some sensitive information, we need to know whom should we approach and whom should we complain. So let us all be aware different measures of safeguarding sensitive information. For example, if you collect data about students, maybe vulnerables, maybe children and women students, being harassed or being being bullied in the campuses, our own campuses, we collect data in online. We collected data during online applications or portal. We need to take care of these sensitive information in order that it should be protected, in order that privacy should not be affected, it should not be misused or misinterpreted by someone else. We need to also safeguard sensitive data. Sensitive data could be not only from institution. It can be from, maybe counseling. Imagine that some of the students come for counseling. We make all these things digitalized these days to submit for NAC. Do we submit those things? Do we expose those things to others, to our administrators? Whenever students approach the counselors, they trust the counselor. We need also to secure those sensitive data shared by the students who come for counseling. This is just an example. Similar way, you can scale it for industry, or the same for industry for different societies. So we need to discuss, we need to understand, and we need to educate the children about the importance of encryption. Encryption is making the data secured. Encryption, I'm not talking in terms of technology. I'm just making you all understand in a simple manner. We need to deploy a strong encryption technique to store secured data to prevent unauthorized access. And only the right person should access the data. Unauthorized access should be completely prevented. Also, we need to describe the different consequences of cyber attacks. Cyber attacks can be on individuals, cyber attacks can be on institutions or business or society. We need to be aware of the consequences, so that only when we understand the consequences, we build stronger security. We create stronger cyber security so that we feel safe and we make others feel safe. And dear participants, now we are going to talk about, we are going to discuss about intellectual property rights, IPR. First concern when we talk about IPR is that copyright and plagiarism. Many of us have shared during our polling, we indulge in, we go against copyright. For example, a book is copyrighted. We are not supposed to take reprography. We are not supposed to take the photocopy of book which is copyrighted. But all of us do that. We should educate the children. We should understand first, and we should follow, and we should educate our children. Now we should explain the importance of respecting copyright laws. When it is copyrighted, I should respect the laws. I should be guided morally that this is copyrighted material. I should not use. I should avoid plagiarism. I should understand. We should educate our research scholars to understand the rules of plagiarism. We should know that we should educate our research scholars that we should avoid plagiarism. We should also respect intellectual property rights as copyrights. We should encourage the proper use of copyrighted material, copyleft materials. See, for example, if you want to make use of copyrighted materials, I should make use of it in a proper manner. I should get permissions. I should pay and use. All that should be followed. So we should use copyrighted materials or copyrighted information or copyrighted data in a relevant manner by giving them credit to the original creators. See, one is using copyrighted materials with proper use. The other way, we can make use of Creative Commons and open sources. See, for example, if I think of making use of cracked version of MS Word, Microsoft Word, which is not digitally right, which is against digital ethics, if we use cracked version. Instead, if I use, open source software, which is equivalent to MS Word, there are plenty of applications, Star Office or LibreOffice, and so on. There are so many. And when I think of downloading, operating systems, which is of, paid registered version, if I use registered version is fine. If I use the cracked version, it is against digital ethics. So instead, I can make use of open source operating system. Linux is there. We can make, so let us be aware and let us educate our children to potentially make use of Creative Commons and open sources. Don't worry, I shall deal with Creative Commons, what is Creative Commons is all about, and what are the different licenses under Creative Commons, how to make use of OE or open educational resources. I will give you the demonstration shortly. Now, this is very, very important. Is my presentation visible? Is my presentation visible? Are you able to view?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Like,
Yes, absolutely. It's okay.
If it is hidden, please let me know, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Now, professors, all our students, are, living in, continuously, living with smart gadgets. They are born with smart gadgets. All our children, all our children belong to Z generation. All of us belong to different generation, but our children are born with technology. Even the small child uses the mobile phone, uses YouTube. Does it know moral ethics? No. So when they grow up, we need to educate them. We need to tell them, if you are handling classes for undergraduates, if you are handling classes for postgraduates, or research scholars, or school students, whomever they are, even our own children, we should create an awareness with them. They should grow with digital ethics. They should be guided by digital ethics for a sustainable life, to live a sustainable life with harmony. That's very important. That's what Father Jose said. Now, people should be made aware of cyberbullying. What is cyberbullying? Our students should not indulge. Our students should not be a victim of cyberbullying. So we should discuss among the students of the impacts of cyberbullying, and we should also we should tell them about the mental health. See, when the students are harassed online, when the students are bullied online, their mental health will go wrong. Certainly, we need to counsel them. Some of them will not come out of it. We should educate them. If something happens, if somebody has bullied, if somebody has harassed, we should educate them to complain, or we should educate them to overcome that. So if not, the mental health is affected. So their well-being is not only connected with physical health. We should also think of well-being of their mental health. That is very, very important these days, because they are found online always. For example, if we connect online to send some messages, we see people, the students are completely online till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock at night. We do not know what they do continuously till late night. So without their knowledge, they indulge cyberbullying, or they are being victimized. They become victims of cyberbullying. Without, if they are victims of cyberbullying, if they are not able to be open because of social pressure, or if I reveal something, what will the others think of me? What will others know? We should make them comfortable. We should create a space for the children to come out openly with what has happened to them. And we should also teach them, we should promote respectable and kind online interactions. We should encourage them to use, parliamentary words, not unparliamentary words, or taboo words. These days, there are a lot of taboo words are being used in social media, which should be prevented. We should tell them, we should educate our children, and we should also prevent harassment. We should not also get harassed, and we should not also harass people. Okay, we should not be victim of harassment. We should also we should not involve harassment, harassing others. So we should create a safe online environment for every individual, particularly for our children. If something has happened, we should report, and the action should be taken for online harassments immediately. If something happens in our college, for example, people open different pages and without their own original identity, they create false information about somebody, maybe teachers, maybe management. This should be highly avoided. We should educate them about the consequences of doing this. We should make them grow, and we should guide them with the ethical base, so that they respect others when they use social media, so that they can be free from online harassment and bullying. And dear professors, digital addiction. Just now I talked to you about digital addiction. All of us, even we are all addicted. Now, if you want to watch a small piece of news with YouTube, what will happen? It will lead me to some other news. It will lead me to some other. Originally, I planned for maybe about 5 minutes. It kills my time. It takes my time. 2 hours, 3 hours, continuously students, continuously addicted. One video will guide the other video will guide the other. The people, we should understand the consequence of addiction. addiction to technology. Not only addiction to drug will harm the life, addiction to technology also harms life. We have heard so many students, young friends have spoiled their life just because of some games, online games, online rummies and so on. They online different applications. Because of that, some challenges are given, to cut their veins or to jump from the first floor to second floor. Things go wrong because of addiction. We should understand what are the consequences of addiction, both physically and psychologically. We should educate the children, and we should also educate the children to have a balanced life. Balanced life between our normal life and online life. We should encourage our students to find healthy balance between screen time and other activities. What do you mean by screen time? Have you heard of screen time? Participants, have you heard of screen time? Can anyone tell me what is screen time? Priya madam, thank you very much. You said trolling, body shaming, disinformation, polarization, all that happens. Even our students do that without knowing the consequences. Yes, thank you. What do you mean by screen time? We should set the healthy screen time. For example, in time spent using mobile, electronic gadgets, or any gadgets, the amount. Thank you. So many have given the answers. The duration that we spend with digital gadgets. It could be mobile, iPod, listening to songs, watching movies, making use of digital devices. That's what we call by screen time, particularly mobile phones and computers. Even we should not be addicted continuously, even for research. If I use continuously, if I sit in front of computers continuously, even for research, it is not good for health. Psychologically, we become ill. So we need to plan and set healthy screen time. It should be, for example, maybe per day, 1 hour, the screen time. We should have lesser screen time. The lesser screen time that you have, the more healthy life that we lead, more happy life we can lead. We think that when we use computers, we become smarter. When we use mobile phones continuously for smart application, we become smarter. No, it's not. Instead, it harms your life. Instead, it harms your mental health and physical well-being. So it is better that we need to set screen time for ourselves and to set Rakshi Sama madam, balancing digital life and regular activity. For example, if the students are playing with some applications, maybe Candy Crush, some games, game application. Instead, we can encourage the students to play in the ground. These days, we seldom find students playing at the ground. Even those days, sitting in canteen, we used to chat. In the hostels, after our meals, we used to chat. Now, these days, they sit together, but nobody chats. Each one is, concentrating with their mobile. Instead, for example, I make use of my mobile for watching, maybe 10 minutes of videos. Maybe for academic purposes, 30 minutes. Maybe for this, reading news and getting news or information, maybe about 15 minutes. So 1 hour. Remaining time, I should make use of physical activities and making use of the practice of writing and so on. So this is what we call by balancing life, digital, and we need to set the healthy screen time. All of us should take a pledge that we need to set balanced digital screen time. Only then, if the digital screen time is less, our screen time is lesser, then our life becomes healthier. And we need to educate the children about screen time and so on. Now, let me just go ahead with e-commerce ethics. These days, every one of us purchase things online. All of us, one or the other day, we purchase things, either electronic goods or online food or online any materials or consumables. All that we do with e-commerce. When this is for e-commerce industries. We should be aware of consumer rights. We should know if somebody cheats, we should know how to challenge. We should not bear with. For example, if we go in silence, the number of victims will get increased. If we are cheated, immediately bring it out so that others should not be cheated, should not be victim of the same scam. We should know the consumer rights. We should make the students aware of consumer rights, and we should also understand the importance of protection of online transactions. We should understand the importance of online transaction. We should understand the security of the sensitive data being shared online particularly when we share the financial transaction, when we do financial transactions. We should be aware when somebody calls us and asks for some, digital PIN number or some link is being sent, asked to send the data, or if any website is asking for my credit card details, I should not give. I should be aware of those e-commerce platforms, and there are platforms, e-commerce platforms, which is not proper, which is not registered, which will cheat you. For example, a bicycle, electric cycle, which costs about maybe about 50,000 rupees, they will sell you for 2,000 rupees. We should know that nobody in the world can give 50,000 product to 2,000 rupees. We should be aware. We are being cheated. Knowing that, we just get ourselves into these e-commerce sites. So we should understand these type of scams. We should also be aware of consumer rights to challenge these bodies, these industries in the court or ethical forums. And we should highlight fair pricing. Sometimes, what do? They just tell us millennium sale or this sale, that event, this event. What do? They increase the product and they give discount. But actually the original rate will be there. We should all be aware of. We should trace what was the price previously about before a month and now. We should be aware. And we should also be aware of product representatives. Sometimes they show you something and deliver you something. And we should also understand the customer service. We should read. No, none of us, I'm sorry. None of us read the terms and conditions. We should give practice of reading terms and conditions, even for installing software, even for installing applications, even for buying products. Before we buy product, we should understand the terms and conditions. Without understanding the terms and conditions, afterwards, we should not get a sorry figure. Oh, my money has gone and I'm being victimized by this scam and so on. We should read properly. We should be aware of this. So we need to have transparency in pricing and policies by business concerns. Yes, we should encourage, or we should buy only to those concerns who have transparent policies, transparent pricing, policies from e-commerce portals and sites. And finally, I would like to deal with AI. See some of the more factors of contributing digital ethics. What should we do with social media and democracy? Dear participants, dear professors, dear teachers, dear students, these days when we use social media, sometimes unknowingly, without knowing someone, we become friends. It should be avoided. We do not know the identity, original identity. If you do not know the identity of someone, we should not establish our connection with someone who is not known to me. Why? What is the use of it? If you know him well, or if I know her well, if I know her identity, then it is better. This is one. Number two, fake news and misinformation. What happens many a times, we spread false news without knowing the validity, without knowing the validity in that news or a piece of video that we send. We just send it. That will create a lot of hatred among people in the society. The spread of fake news, because of that, there are so much impact created in the democracy. Impact is created in the society that affects the democratic process in the country. We need to be aware, and we need to educate our children too. And dear participants, we should also be aware of addressing influence of social media platforms. We are being influenced. If somebody, for example, if a high profile, maybe actor or actresses, send something, we believe that it is good. No, we should not take it. We should make a proper analysis. For example, if somebody comes and tells you that you play rummy, I should think of it, whether rummy is good for me or not, whether rummy is good for society or not. So we should not be influenced by social media platforms. So we should address the influence of social media platforms and public perception and decision making. We should not decide just all of a sudden when a huge crowd goes into it. We should take decisions on our own. The decision should be guided morally. Ethically, we should be bound. And we should also promote responsible sharing. I should take responsibility. For example, when I share an information, I should hold responsibility that I have shared it. If you don't feel that it should not be shared, we should not share it better. We should not dump, we are not garbages to dump garbages into others' mobile or others' social media inboxes or in WhatsApp or in some other platforms. We should encourage critical thinking and fact checking. We should use our critical thinking analysis skills to check the fact before sharing anything. If you do not know whether it is valid information or not, do never send it. Never send it. And we should also educate our children, not simply forwarding whatever that I get. It is something against digital ethics and digital divide. These days I've talked to you about filling the gap. Yes, it is our duty, our bound duty to fill the gap in accessing technology. Yes, dear professors, we need to remove the disparities in the digital access among different communities. As I told you, if you are implementing a new system or if you are introducing a new tool, which should be used by everyone equally. If they have the gadget, if they are not aware of it, we should give them training. We should give them training. We should train them properly, and we should make everyone enjoy. If they do not have the gadgets, we should make them buy, or we should help them to buy the gadget. Only then it should be implemented. We should think of everyone. We should not think of only for elite people or elite students, and we should not least bother about these underprivileged students. So the digital divide has to be bridged. And it is also very important to provide equal opportunity for all to access digital resources. For example, if I release a material, it should be sent to everyone, not only to the studious students or not only to few privileged students. No, everyone should make use of the content that I send, every students of my classroom. So it is very important. Once again, I repeat, it's very important to provide, equal opportunities for all the students, all the teachers, all in the village, all in the city. And it is also important to educate our children, grow our children with the digital literacy. Promoting digital literacy programs, we can organize digital literacy program. We can organize cyber security programs. We can organize, we can start cyber clubs in the institutions so that we spread, cyber ethics or cyber awareness tips and so on among our student friends in the campus, so that everyone should be empowered with digital skills. Now, when everybody is empowered with digital skills, and we are with digital literacy. Digital literacy will avoid all these concerns that we are talking about. And finally, dear participants, use of big data. I've told you enough and more about big data. Exploring ethical challenges when we accumulate data for innovation. It may be for innovation. The results may be good, but we should also think of privacy of people. We should respect privacy of my friend or my neighbor or somebody. We should also address ethical challenges in big data by discussing, issues connecting consent, anonymization. We need to avoid the identity of someone and data ownership. These are all some of the important factors. And we should encourage responsible practice of sharing and utilizing data that is being accumulated for the benefit of the society, not for something else. It should not be misused. It should not be used something against the society. So these are all some of the areas that I would like to just give you. And dear professors, participants, as academicians, so far I've told you about the concerns of digital ethics and how should we overcome these concerns. Now, what are the challenges that we face? What are the challenges that we face? What are the challenges in front of us as teachers, as academicians, as professionals? These are all some of the ethical challenges. Reprography. Taking the content taking the image or taking the digital content without the knowledge of someone, in digital means. That is what we call by reprography. Photocopy, in other terms. That is a challenge. Every day we photocopy. Every day we make the students should take the notes photocopy from the copyrighted materials. We do not respect the copyright laws and IPR laws. We use copyrighted materials. We use ideas under IPR. And thirdly, many of us involved when we write papers, articles, with plagiarism. We take data, we take the ideas of others. These are all some of the challenges that we face. How are we going to overcome these challenges? That's what we are going to discuss now with the remaining time. Now it is 3:51. Another 1 hour more, right? So we will have enough demonstration to be taken. Now let me start. For the third one, plagiarism. How do we avoid plagiarism? I shall give you some flow chart. Like, look at here. This is guidelines for avoiding plagiarism or reducing plagiarism. Now, just ask for a question whether you are writing when you are writing article. When you are writing a research article, when you are writing or creating something, when you're proposing some idea, business ideas, are you using your own words? Are you using your own words? First, let's think of. If yes, I'm using my own words. So you see your words, it is your words, fine. It is your words, fine. If maybe your words, but is it your idea? You should ask the question, is it your idea? See, please understand. When I write an article, am I using my own words? Yes, it's my own words. But am I using my own idea or somebody's idea? I'm writing it my own words. If it is my own idea, then we are not plagiarized. We are right. What we do is perfectly right. Am I clear to you, dear professors? For example, I write my own words. The idea is my own. I'm writing my own idea. That is perfect. We are not plagiarized. And we are free from plagiarism. And if our idea, if idea is somebody's, but I'm writing in my own words. So what should I do? I should, we are paraphrasing. So what should we do? We should add enough citation. We should give, proper references to the original source when we paraphrase. So there's nothing wrong in getting others' idea. Research cannot originate originally from our minds. We need to have this review of literature. We need to study different similar proposals or ideas. Only then we'll come out with our own ideas. For that, we need to, when we link or when we extract ideas from others, we need to properly cite and we need to give it under bibliography. That is very important. This is one way of reducing plagiarism. And for example, at the beginning itself, I'm not writing my own words. I'm not writing my own words. If I'm not writing my own words, if I'm extracting somebody's words or quotation ideas, are you using quotation marks? Yes, I am quoting that. For example, I'm just quoting the wordings of Dr. Darling Selvi. So I should just cite that this is said by Dr. Darling Selvi. It should be within quote. If it is within quote, we are not plagiarized. We need to give them citation. So people should know that it is the wording of Dr. Darling Selvi. It's not my own. And if you are, if you are not using quotation, certainly we are plagiarizing. We are extracting, we are copying somebody's content, and I'm using it. So it is better that it should be completely avoided. That the methodology should be completely avoided. So to reduce plagiarism, we get ideas. The ideas should be represented in our own words. We should give enough, citation, references under bibliography. If you're using exactly the word which is used by somebody or ideas by somebody, we should give them, it should be within quotes and it should be given proper citations. These are all some of the ways and means of reducing plagiarism. Okay, professors? Professors, is it going well? Are you all okay? Are you okay with me? Participants, is everything okay with me? Can I have you a response? Am I boring you? Thank you. Money constraints because of which cracked versions. Yeah, I understand. Dr. Menaka, I understand. We shall discuss. See, just because of money, we should not go against, for example, just because we are getting more money, do we go against ethics? No. We earn hard-toiled money. It's our own labor. What we earn, it's our own labor. We should enjoy the benefit of our own labor. It's not just, getting money from illegal sources. We don't do it. No, that is similarly, just because we are getting it free of cost, we use all these, software, which is completely wrong. We should create a culture. Since everybody does, we should not think that it is not digital. It is not against digital ethics. See, please understand, dear participants, dear professors. No, all of us, many of us, a huge number use cracked versions of different software. Just because it is being used by everyone, it does not become moral. So we should create a culture among our students so that they avoid. Yes. Plagiarism be reduced by citing author. Yes, certainly. And, not extract. See, when you put it in code, you can avoid plagiarism. Otherwise, if I extract somebody's, I think I'm answering Dr. Syed. If I extract somebody's idea, if I make use of somebody's idea, I write it in different wordings. I avoid plagiarism, but proper citation should be given. Plagiarism software may not catch your idea, may not catch the sentences, or may not highlight the sentence, which is written by your own words. But still, we should be guided by moral ethics, digital ethics. We should cite the idea originally contributed by someone. Thank you. Now we shall move on to Creative Commons. Professors, we are moving on to Creative Commons, next segment. Now, I have told you about the concerns relevant to academicians. Digital ethics concern relevant to academicians. How are we going to overcome? One bigger concern is that plagiarism. Second one is copyright. Okay, see, this is the one. See, copyright and IPR. How are we going to overcome this? Dear participants, we should be aware of Creative Commons. How many of you are aware of Creative Commons? Can I have your response? How many of you are aware of Creative Commons? If yes, press 1. If no, press 2. If no, press 2. If you are aware of Creative Commons, press 1. If you are not aware of Creative Commons, press 2. Accordingly, I shall give you the presentations. Okay, many have said that you are not aware of Creative Commons. I shall give you a demonstration. Don't worry. Yes, many. Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. I really respect all of you because, you have joined after your regular schedule. You are spending 2 or 3 hours of your time, precious time in this online webinar, interacting with me. I really salute you all. No, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Fine. Now, what do you mean by Creative Commons? Now, we can create our own licenses for our own e-content. All the products, all the content which is under Creative Commons, they can be used freely. They can be used by academicians or they can be used by professionals freely. These are all some of the key licenses for under Creative Commons. Look at here, when we get this symbol, please understand Creative Commons is a set of licenses to be shared, in a friendly manner. See, this license, this symbol denotes that I need to give the attribute for the content creator. For example, if I make use of content of Ms. Rajula, I give her attribute. I should give her credit that this content is extracted from her. No attribution should be given. The second one, look at here, this one. It is share alike. The same license should be shared. See, when I send the data, when I send the content, it should be shared as it is. Okay, with the same license. That's what we call by share alike, same license. For example, if I send a license that if I have downloaded a material under Creative Commons, they have mentioned that no commercial usage. So when I send it to others, when I make use of it, I should send it with the same license. That's what it means, share alike. And no derivatives, which means I should not change anything. See, some of the Creative Commons licenses, I can change anything. I download it, I change enough and more and make use of it for my own usage. Okay, that is something open license. That is only attribution is essential. Sometimes when this symbol is given, no derivatives, which means we should not change the content. We should not change the design. We should not change the pattern. We should not change the formatting. Nothing should be changed. It should be used as it is. That is what we know by no derivatives. And this symbol denotes non-commercial usage. You can use it for academic purposes, for non-commercial purposes, but for commercial purposes, we should never use these content. These are the license sets. Now, how to create? Look at here, dear participants. I have given idea of the mapping for different licenses. See, when you find C with the circle, what is that? When you find C with circle, what is that? Participants, when you find C with circle, what is that? C with circle. We find copyrighted. Yes, copyright. Yes, see, it is copyrighted. Now, how do you avoid copyrighted? I think there are how to address. There are some questions. I would like to take up the questions at the end. Certainly. Sorry, not answering your questions immediately. I'll take up the questions certainly at the end. Yeah. Otherwise, it will disturb the flow. Others are listening. No? That's right. Thank you. Now, look at here, dear participants. As I told you, copy C within a circle, it's copyrighted. Completely rights are reserved. We cannot photocopy. We cannot make use. We cannot use it for commercial usage. We cannot change it. We cannot edit it. Only with the proper permission, only with the proper registration, or only on payment, I should make use of the data. C with the license. But Creative Commons licenses, we are free to use. We need not pay single penny, single paise. We are free to use. See the first one, first license. Look at here, this license. If you have C, cancel C. That is called public domain. No restriction at all. For example, if the government releases cyber security policy, they all come under this license, public domain, which means I can make a copy and publish on my own. I need not give attribution to the government. I can use it for commercial purpose. I can modify. I can change the license and I can use. All that is possible with public content. If something is released by the government. And this one, when this comes, this symbol that needs only attribution. I need to have attribution. That's all. I can make use of the content, publish, copy and publish. I can, only thing is that I need to give attribution. I can use it for commercial usage. I can modify, I can adapt, I can change the license and I can use it. The second set of license, the third one, look at here. I need to have attribution. I need to share with the same license. I cannot change the license. Same license. But can I use it for commercial purpose? Yes, I can sell it. The next one. See, I need attribution. I don't want the content to be changed. The content should not be changed. With regard to color, with regard to the text, with regard to the image, nothing should be changed. I need to have attribution, and I should not change the content. And the fifth one, look at here, this one, which means I need to have attribution. The content should not be used for commercial purposes. And third, this one, the sixth one, non-commercial usage, and it should be shared as it is. It should be shared. Whatever way I received, I should be shared with the same license. And the last one, I need attribution. It cannot be used for commercial purposes, and it should not be changed. Nothing should be changed from this. So these are all some of the licenses. How to create these licenses? Participants, please listen. How to create these licenses? I'm going to tell you how to create these licenses and place it in my PowerPoint or wherever I send it. For example, I create a PowerPoint. Now, if I want the PowerPoint to be used by my students, so what license can you tell me? See, I create a PowerPoint. I want it to upload under my website, college website. Please let me know what license should I give. What license should I give? Can I have your response? Attribution. Yes, I need to have attribution. That one, the first one. Now I can allow my students to make use, or I can allow the fellow teachers to make use of the same with attribution. That's enough. Okay. Similarly, I should, create assignments. Now, let me just give you the demonstration of, creating attributions for Creative Commons. Now, let me give you, first thing is that, let me give you a demonstration of, downloading Creative Commons content. How to download Creative Commons content. Okay. Now, do we all download images in Google? Do you think that they all could be used free of cost? Now I find, look at here, I put rows. Or do you think that all these images could be used freely? just because it is available? No, no, it should not be. So how could we avail, Creative Commons images? I shall give you the demonstration. Kindly hold for a moment. I'm just sharing some other window. Process, I'm sharing some other window. Hold for a moment. Kindly hold. I'm sharing some other window. Yeah. Yes. Is my screen visible? Is my screen visible? Can you just, can one or two tell me, is my screen visible?
Yes,
No,
sir, it's
Now,
absolutely.
now carefully listen. Now carefully listen. As many of you know this technique, just for others, how to make use of Google to download Creative Commons pictures, all the pictures that I get. For example, I'm just typing, maybe the same rose, or maybe apple. Look at here, apple. I'm just typing apple. Now I just click over images. I get all these different images. Do you think that all these images could be used freely? See, this is by India Mart, commercial base. It has commercial base. Certainly, I should not use it. They have a policy. It should not be used free of cost. They may file, they may challenge us in the court, but usually they don't do. But we should be guided by ethics. We should be guided by digital ethics. So what should I do? In order to avoid, taking copyrighted pictures, see here, just go to tools. Are you able to see tools here? Tools. Click over tools. And immediately after clicking tools, you have usage rights. See, usage rights is here. Option. Click here. And you have two options. One is Creative Commons license. Another one is commercial and other licenses. When I click Creative Commons license, under which whatever pictures appear, I can use it free of cost, only with attribution. That is more than enough. For example, look at here. I just click Creative Commons. All these, I can use it freely. Okay, I can use it freely. Only thing is that I need to give attribution. For example, look at here. This is by Wikimedia Commons. So, picture courtesy. Okay, thanks or credit to Wikimedia Commons. So, an attribute can be given. It can be used free of cost completely. All these. Am I clear to you? Once again, click the tools and click here, Creative Commons licenses, which means all these pictures could be used free of cost with attribution. Right? So now this is with regard to downloading Creative Commons images. Look at here, there is an option for size. See, by the way, I shall also do this for you. Now I can fix the size that I want. I can fix the size that I want. I want to have, what size exactly. See here, size of apple, large, medium, icon, small ones. Colors, I can even pick up the color. I want to have yellow color apples. See, look at here. All the apples appear in yellow. I can even ask it to display green apples. Look at here. I can fix the color. I can go for type. What type of file is that? Whether it is a clip art, line drawing, or GIF image. You can just pick up any one of these. For example, when I click GIF and GIF image, that I get. And the time. Time from past 24 hours to last 1 year. All these pictures that are available here. Okay. Have you all understood, dear participants? Have you all understood how to download royalty-free images under this, under Google? Have you all understood? Participants, have you all understood? Just press 1. Just press 1 in the chat. Rizwan, madam, are you not able to understand? Getting patent of pictures, naturally available fruits is unethical, isn't it? Getting patent of pictures. See, for example, patent is something bigger than what we do. For example, if I get pictures of fruits from the internet, I cannot file patent for these pictures. For example, with a picture, if I'm able to do some creative concept, brand, it is not under IPR. It is under branding. It is under branding license. So business branding. Okay, that is something else. See, when I want to reserve or when I want to protect my idea, that comes under IPR. Yeah, thank you. Now, dear participants, I'm moving on to presentation. Then I will come back to you. I will just switch over from one to the other. Don't worry. Right. Now I'm just taking you all for the presentation. Now the next website, look, I think next website is Openverse. Is it visible to you? 1 minute. Yeah, I'm just sharing just for you to understand. Yeah. This is one of the websites where you can download, Creative Commons licensed images, content. It's called, it is developed by Openverse. Openverse demo. Now let me give you the demonstration of downloading, pictures, images, content from Openverse. Okay, this is by Wiki. Now let me just take you to the page again. Now are you able to get it? Is my picture shared? I mean, is my picture shared?
No, it's the images of Apple and Google. So
Yeah. Sorry, 1 minute. 1 minute. Yeah. Fine. Now look at here. In Google, I just type WordPress, one word, press universe. Openverse. Okay, just type Openverse. You just go to click all. Openverse, WordPress Openverse. Okay, dear participants, WordPress Openverse. This is the one. I think you get it in yellow color. Don't worry if you don't get it properly. I'll give you the link. Openverse. The link, I'll give you the link so that you can follow it. I shall give you the link for you all, so that you need not get confused. Once again, let me just give you, see, this is the link. I give you the link in the chat. You can just note down through the chat. Got it? This is the link. I have given you the link in the chat. Now here, look at here. I just type, for example, I want a computer. Okay, computer network. So here, all content, look at here, there are images, audio. There are 2 types of content which could be available freely. Now I click image. So when I click image, under this search option, see here, there are various options here available here. See here the licenses on your right side. Are you able to see it? Is it visible, ma'am? See here, licenses. Under these licenses, we have public domain. We have different set of licenses. See, if you want to know the details of the license, you can click here and you will get to know the details of the license. Okay, see here the details of the license. So accordingly, you can download. For example, I want to have license under public domain. So all these pictures could be completely used even without credit. Okay, even without credit. These pictures could be used completely even without credit. Public domain. See these pictures. See these pictures, Creative Commons, which means you need to give them credit. Look at here. See, these are all some of the pictures. See. These pictures could be used free of cost. Nobody will question us. Am I clear to you, dear participants? So these are all different sets of license. For example, I want to have a license under this. Look at here. See, under this license, we get the pictures of these kind. See, these are all different kinds. Okay. Got it, dear participants? Got it? So this is how we download. See, these pictures are free. I can make use of this picture, but I cannot use it for commercial purpose. Okay, you may not get sometimes relevant pictures, but just search, you will get it. And dear participants, now I'm stopping. I suppose all of you have got it. This is Openverse, right? Now I'm just sharing the presentation once again. Now look at here. These are all some of the sites. These are all some of the sites where you can get free images under Creative Commons. All these sites or these URLs will give you free images under Creative Commons. Or the images taken under these URLs could be used freely with open license. Just make note of it. Just have a click over it, or I can share my presentation because it is under Creative Commons. Okay, this is about, this is with regard to images. And this is with regard to music. If you want to have content with music, if you want to download music, for example, you want to do a yoga, it is unethical to listen to music which is under, copyrighted. So we need to download royalty-free music. If you want to mix up music for your own drama or your own skit or academic purposes, you can download from one of these sources, one of these URLs, which is completely free and which is completely bound by digital ethics. Okay, we can make use of these portals for downloading music, royalty-free music for any purpose, for assembly, for mixing up, for all these things. Right. Now, I'm going to give you the demonstration of how to create licenses, how to create CC licenses. How should I create CC licenses, Creative Commons licenses? Participants, some of you wanted to have feedback form. The feedback form will be shared only at the end of the webinar today. The webinar will be end by 5 p.m. I'm sorry because they could not share, they cannot share immediately. We have time. We have another 45 minutes. Kindly bear with us. Okay, fine. Now look at here. I'm going to give you the demonstration of creating your licenses, Creative Commons licenses. Please go to Google and try. If you want to do it along with me, you're most welcome. Otherwise, make note of it. Please go to Google and type Creative Commons, Creative Commons, Creative Commons, Creative Commons. The first link is that creativecommons.org. Click over that, creativecommons.org. We have seen licenses just 10 minutes before. How to create those licenses? Okay, there is an option, share your work. Okay, there is an option, share your work. I shall just share the link with you all using the chat. Yeah, I have shared the link. Look at here, I have shared the link, dear professors. Make note of that. Now, with this, I get this page after logging into this URL. Click share your work. Is my screen visible, madam? I'm sorry if I disturb you often. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's
Thank you.
absolutely
Right.
all right.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, often I'm disturbing you.
Doesn't
Right.
matter.
Click share your work. From there, it takes me to the next part. Look at here, choose a license. See, it gives me process. Choose the features of license, take the options, and finally get your license. Copy the license and use it. For example, get started. Click get started. Now, look at here, the first question, that is allow adaptations of your work to be shared. Yes, I allow. I allow everyone to adapt my work, change. If yes, this is the license. See, CC license and attribute. So this is the license that I get. If I say no, what happens? Look at here. See here, there is another license, no derivations. Okay, no derivation. You can change the content. You can also change the license and send. Okay. If I don't allow the users to change the license, see, look at here, share alike, which means, see, it should be shared as it is. You should not change anything. Shared as it is. For example, look at here, are you allowing users to use your work, commercial use? Do you allow commercial usage of the same? If you say yes, there is no symbol. If I say no, see here, I get another symbol. See here. See, I get another symbol. I create license. Now, completely, I would like to make this product or this e-content to be used freely. So look at here, I just changed my license. I put allow adaptations of your work. Yes. Allow commercial usage of your work. Yes. So only thing is that I need to have attribution. Basically, attribution is essential for any Creative Commons license. Now come down. Look at here. This can be copied, or you can take up. You can take, for example, if you want to your let's see, for example, many a times we upload our content in college websites. It can be viewed by anybody. So what do? You just copy this and just put it in, embed it with the code. You just give this to your programmers. They will embed it, and it will show this icon. so that people will understand under what license it is being created. Or else you can copy. Look at here, you can copy this, copy the image, and you can put it into your slides, PowerPoints. Maybe at the beginning or at the end or wherever you want to use. For example, look at here, I'm just sharing it under my screen, with my PowerPoint. 1 minute. See here, I've copied the license. I just wanted to share it within my PowerPoint. See here. I'm in the first page of my PowerPoint. Here I've copied the image. I've copied the image. The image is here. I'm taking it and keeping it here somewhere in the corner of. See here, need not be with this size. Small icon can be put in under the corner, some corner. Okay, it can be there some corner. Am I clear to you? Do you understand how to create licenses? Now, once again, let me tell you, now I'm going to change the license. Now, allow adaptations of your work to be shared. Yes. No, I'm just sharing. No. See here, no derives, no change. No change is permitted. How to copy this? Come down, right click, copy this. Come back to PowerPoint and place it in your page. See here, this is the license. This is the license that we created. Place it in your page. It can be pasted into your PowerPoint. It can be pasted into your PDF. It can be pasted into your Word, or it can be pasted into any document that you create. Okay, or even in the descriptions of YouTube, it can be shared. In the description, under what license you are sharing it. It can be. All the YouTube videos are under Creative Commons. Yeah, I cannot use it commercially, but I can watch. I can make use of the video. I can play the video. I can use the video in PowerPoint. I can use the video in classes. All the YouTube videos are under Creative Commons. Now, have you all understood, dear participants, how to create your own licenses under Creative Commons? Participants, have you understood how to create licenses with the Creative Commons? Any? My UPS may last for another time. Sorry. Before digital era, how many books were carried copyright? Do they still enjoy those rights? Yes, of course. Once it is with copyright, it is there forever. It is there forever. How copyright my blogs and articles? Certainly, your blog can be copied. See, blog comes under Creative Commons. Please understand, dear participants, blogs come under Creative Commons. You cannot make it private. Blogs, which means it is open for everyone. Only thing is that the content under blog could be covered under Creative Commons licenses. You fix a license. Just copy this code. I've shown you the code. No, look at here. I've shown you this thing. Sorry. See here, there is an option for embedding. Copy this and put it into your blog. There is an option when you create a blog, embedding. Just copy this and paste it over there. Automatically, this license will appear over there in your blog. Yeah. Can we embed the link? Yes, of course, you can embed. Professor Priya, you can certainly embed. Yes. Yes. If you are an IT professional, why not? You can use it. See, Creative Commons, you are allowing people to make use of your content. You are allowing freely. Only thing is that you need to have attribute. That's all. And you can allow them to edit. You can allow them to use it for commercial purpose. You can restrict them to edit, or you can restrict them commercial usage. Accordingly, you can design your own licenses and place it wherever it is possible. If it is online content, just embed the code. If it is your own product to be shared with your friends in digital means, you just paste the images. Okay. Now, I'm just taking you all to next part. Thank you for your patience, dear professors. Next interesting part is that OER Commons. OER Commons. As academicians, we should know, downloading copyrighted materials, for downloading somebody else's slide, it is unethical. It's not ethical. Instead, why don't we practice using open educational resources? For making use of pirated software, it is unethical. Instead, we should encourage the students to make use of FAST tools. What do you mean by FAST tools? FOSS, free and open source. Free and open source. FAST, FOS, free and open source tools. free and open source tools. For example, any software that we use, any application that I use, there is equivalent, free and open source software. If I use, for example, for movie editing, I use OpenShot. OpenShot is a free tool, but we have Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro is a commercial tool by Adobe. I told you, you have, Photoshop for image editing. We have equivalent tool called GIMP. We have, Flash. We have equivalent tool called Synfig. Similarly, for all the product that we use, we have open source tools. We call FOSS tools, free and open source tools. That is with regard to tools that we use. Now, content, for example, downloading, PowerPoint, downloading PDFs, downloading books, all are unethical. All these practices are unethical. How do you overcome? There is a boon to overcome this is open educational resources. In short, it is called as OER Commons. All these materials under these OER Commons are free to use. You need not pay. But there are some conditions. We should not make use of the same for commercial purposes. There may be some conditions. We should not, sometimes they may not allow us to edit. Sometimes they may not allow us to change and share it others. So all these are some of the conditions. But we can make use of it for presentation. We can make use of it for any purposes, any academic purposes. How do we download these OER Commons? Let me explore. Please go to Google. Professors, it will be very useful for you. Please go to Google and type OER Commons. OER Commons. OER Commons. See, there are so many OER Common portals. Please understand, there are plenty of ample number of OER Common sites. This is one among. Now click here. See, even Indian government of India is making an attempt to create a portal, OER portal for Indian teachers, professors. Look at here. This is OER Commons. Click here. I shall give you the link in the chat. You can copy the link. I'm just giving you the link in the chat. So this is the link. I have copied the link. This is the site. So here I need to just give my conditions. Based on that, I can download any content that I want. Okay. It is not that all that only I can enjoy the content created. I can also contribute. See, for example, you publish your papers. You publish your papers and the papers get cited. If somebody has quoted your paper, it is cited and you get credit. Similarly, if you add your content, if somebody reads, if somebody downloads, you get credit. Okay, you get credit. And future, Indian government is planning to include this for CAS. How many OER content that you have developed. In our college, people get, details of OER content that we have developed or used. Now, we contribute for OER so that the global teaching community or global educational community can make use of it, either students or teachers and others. Or I can use somebody else's content under OER. And now let me explore how can you make use of somebody's content for OER. Can anyone give me a topic for which I shall search? Some topic, some academic relevant topics. Can you? See, for example, I would like to search a topic and it's given by genetics. Yeah, Professor Carnegie Thomas. Thank you, Professor. Genetics. See, I'm just starting genetics. Okay. Genetics. Subject. What subject? You need not bother about all these filters. Straight away, you can click search. But still, you can see here, there are options here. Physical sciences, biological sciences, life sciences. See here, I have given life science. Education level. If you are searching the same for, higher education, adult education or professional training accordingly. See here, I just want to go for professional level. So professional level. Standard. What standard? Don't worry about the standard because standards are different from different parts of the world. Different standards are here. I least bother about this option. I just click search. See here, genetics and life sciences for graduate level. How many OER content are uploaded? Let me check. See here, this is the content. What is the license? Can someone tell me what is the license? See here, this is created by a person called Research Square. There is an organization. Individuals can contribute or an organization can contribute. Look at here. Genetic basics for your coffee habit. Human genetic variation, an introduction. genetic basis for spine length differences. These are all some of the content. You just search and get genetic privacy in post-genomic world. What is this license? Can you tell me what is this license? Can someone tell me what is the license? This license that needs only attribution. That's all. Telagavati madam, I will just look for Internet of Things later. Have you got it? Now I want to have one more content. Now I just go for content like Internet of Things. Internet of Things. Okay. I just search. I get how many results? Look at here. I just searched. I have searched and it has listed me 35 results totally. 35 contents it has given me. Look at here. Who has developed it? Jack McCarthy. Material type is module. So if I want to have access of this, just click over here. Internet of Things. View the resource. See, view resource. Before reading the resource, look at here, what license is that and overview of the lesson, what the unit tells or what the module tells all about, all that. And the same can be, please understand, the same OER comments can be embedded into our college website freely. Nobody will ask question. It can be embedded into our own college website. We teachers can make use of these content freely, without any fear, without any ethical bound, without any restrictions. Now look at you can even embed it in Google Classroom. Okay, right. I just click view resource and I can read it here or I can download. See here. See, they have engineering subject module. Look at here. See, overview of this and learning objectives are given here. And now I'm just making use of the resource. See here, I can save it. I can save this student view. Click student view. You can get the student view. Only they have given the learning objectives. Let me just explore the student view. See, you can have preview. Click and see. You can get the preview. See here, this is the material. I can save it here. Professors, please understand. I can save this. I can download it. I can share it. I can print it. All that can be done. See, next page, what is given? Only this is given. Okay, in the second page, they have given only learning objective. There is no material found here. Okay, when I download, let me check. See, I can download it and I have to log in. If you want to download, I'll have to log in, right? I can also print it and use it. Am I clear to you, dear professors? Now look at here, I'm just going for another material. Under this search, click this search option. Click this search option or go to this one, search. Enter, for example, English grammar. For example, Google workspace for education. So I have created Google workspace for education. Just search. I'm searching for a title, Google workspace for education. Look at here, we have got two materials. See, this material is prepared by me. See, I have uploaded it in 2nd June. Google workspace for education. It is a lecture notes. Subject is education technology and the license is open license. CC open license, only like attribution is needed. How to make use of this material? Click this Google workspace and view resource. Click view resource. Click view resource and here there is an option. See, PDF is attached here. PDF is attached here. So I can click or I can view. See, I can download or I can view. I just click view. So it will load me the page that I have. See here, this is the material that I have under Creative Commons. See, am I clear to you? See, this is the license. This is the material that I wanted to send it, right? I can download or I can view. So this is how you access OER common materials. Now, how to create our own? Please understand, how do we create our own? Now, see on the top, there is an option, add OER. Before I move on, have you all understood? Have you all understood downloading? Have you all understood downloading? Have you all understood downloading OER common materials? You search for your own subjects. You will find something. You will find something relevant. You will find something not relevant. Only now the momentum is, just it is getting, boomed. People contribute a lot for OER. Thank you. Now look at your process. Now let me just explore you how to add your own material. Click add. Please click add. Before that, you need to sign in. Please understand, before when you add your material, you need to sign in. On your right, there is an option to sign in and register. Click that, and you have option. See here, if you're for the first time, click register. Click register. Or if you have license for your institution, you can log in here. See, if you are new if you're for the first time, you click register, and it is simple. There are 2-3 inputs that you need to give. Then your account is created. Okay. Now I'm just logging in with my account. See, I'm just logging in. Login is compulsory for creating your own OER. Now, look at here, add OER. There is an option, add OER. See here, I get edit option and delete. Why have I got it? Because it's my own page. It's my own. I've created, right? See here, under which, see, there are 4 people who have seen it, and one have downloaded it. So I can also see who have visited and so on. Now I click add OER. Now there are 2 options. One is submit a web file. You want submit a web file so that it can be seen from websites. Or you take a OER file or take a library file and put it here, web content. No, I want to create my own content. So click create resource. Click here. Click create resource. And it will take you to the next page. This is the one. Now for model, I'm just giving you the model. You just try on your own. Okay, I'm not going to create a material here. Now you enter the title. Enter the title. For example, Internet of Things. Maybe digital ethics. I want to create a material on digital ethics. Look at here. Digital ethics. Okay. Now add relevant image. Add relevant image. How do I add relevant image? Click here and you can download, you can upload the image from your system. So for that, where do I get relevant image? Where do I get the relevant image for uploading here? Digital ethics. I go to Google. Look at here, Google. And how do I get open material? Go to just type digital ethics, See here, image, go to image, go to tool and usage rights, Creative Commons. Use Creative Commons. Okay, I've given Creative Commons. See here, these are all pictures could be used freely. So I would like to just take up this picture, maybe this picture or this picture. Okay, I'm just copying this picture, opening, downloading this, saving this picture into my desktop. I've got it into my desktop. Okay, I've in my computer. I come back. Now click here and take up that picture. See, I have taken this picture. So this picture is brought here. You can give the title of the image if you want. Come down. You can give the section name. For example, your lecture, maybe your material may start with introduction or some topic. Okay, maybe see, I'm just talking about introduction. Okay. So what is the content for introduction? I just give all the content related to the introduction. If I want to attach anything, I can attach. Look at here. If I want to attach a PDF file, if I want to attach something material from Google Drive, if I want to attach PowerPoint, if I want to attach a video, if I want to attach YouTube, all that can be done. Okay, by this. And come down, insert new section. So I can go for the next section. Am I clear? I can go for the next section. For example, if I want to create a material on e-content development, just introduction about e-content. Next section, types of e-content, different elements of e-content. Next section, the next section would be tools for e-content making. So different section I can make. In each section, you will have all these options. Look at here, you have option for adding YouTube videos. You have option for adding images. You have option for adding tables. You have option for adding mathematical notations and whatnot. All that you can add. All the derivations, mathematical blocks, links, everything can be added. Once after completing everything, section by section you create. Once after completing, you save and preview and go for next. When you go for next, you have option for creating licenses. You need to specify the license. Look at here, I just press next. Now I have not added anything. I have not added anything. So it asked me for content. See, for example, I just copy the content from my, okay, see here, I'm just copying the content from here. Yeah. I'm just copying the content from here. I'm just pasting it here, right? I have pasted. Yeah. I have pasted it. Okay. I have pasted, see, 1 minute. I have pasted the content. Kindly hold for a moment. As for model, I'm just copying. Yeah. Okay, I have copied. Now just for model. Okay, I just press next. Wanted to show you just what is the next procedure. Now here everything is over. Now you just describe the resource. You just state something about the material. Okay, what is digital ethics and what this material deals about. Now you write it and come down conditions. Conditions. Just people create conditions. And see here, you need to create what subject it comes under. What is the education level? To whom you have created this material? And what is the type of material? Is it activity, assessment, or student guide, lecture note? All these things can be specified. And what language? Are you going with English or any other specific language, vernacular, and so on? And now look at here, which is the media format, and all these can be given, or you can keep it free. And finally, you just click here and click publish, and automatically it is getting published. If you want to have attribution, click here. See, you have different licenses. See, different licenses. Set up licenses are here. You can choose one of these licenses and you can finally click publish. That's all. Your content is being published. Not immediately. It will be taken into consideration after due verification. It will be published by OER, so that this content is available for the entire globe to make use of, to be made use by academicians and students. Okay, this is how we create OER Commons. So dear professors, so far I was just telling you to overcome some of the challenges that we face as academicians, for going against copyrighted images, how to download open licensed pictures. I have given you websites to download content, musical content with open source licenses. And how do we avoid plagiarism? And how do we create OER Commons? How do we create Creative Commons licenses so that our products, our content can be licensed? So all these that we have explored. And at the beginning, I have given you a presentation on what is digital ethics is all about. And I've also told you about the factors that involve with digital ethics and some of the concerns that are pertaining to digital ethics. How do we overcome these concerns in particular to our own domain, particularly the educational domain and education scenario, to develop awareness among ourselves, to be aware of digital ethics, to be aware of different factors of digital ethics, and to make our children and to make our students aware of the various components and nuances of digital ethics, so that we can grow together, we can live a sustainable life with serenity, harmony, so that I allow others to live, I live and I let others live with harmony and peace. So as academicians, we have moral ways to create digital ethics within me and within the environment, particularly within the educational scenario. Thank you very much. Over to the organizers.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vimal. Do you say Gerald or Gerald? Gerald?
Yes, Gerald. Yes, I'm Gerald.
Gerald.
Yeah.
So wow, that was a very good session of applied ethics, So we heard, how important ethics is regarding digital technologies, and you really brought us into the usage and the ethical application. And so we've seen a lot of appreciation and a lot of positive feedback. We do, as you've said, have a few questions.
Yes, certainly. I'm willing to take up the queries.
Okay, so let's see how to address issues with sharenting and deep fakes. Is that word correct? Sharenting?
Yeah, how can we mitigate the first one? The
How
first
to
one?
address issues with deep fakes, and there's a word sharenting. Is that, I don't know that word.
I
Is
think
that
is is it misspelled by Priya, Dr.
Maybe.
Priya? Is it misspelled sharing or sharenting? I think it is sharing.
sharing?
Issues with sharing, yeah, sharing fakes. See, for
Anyway,
example, I think
you can say deep fakes. How do we
Yeah.
deal with issues regarding deep fakes?
See, for example, I get a news or I get an information through social media. So I need to authenticate whether the news is, I need to check with the fact of the incident. So there are so many websites to check the fact of the particular incident, particular video clip or particular information. Only on verifying whether the information is true, only then I can forward. Otherwise, I should not forward it. We should have a great, we should be bound greatly by this. See, recently there was a video shared. I'm very sorry to share here. Recently there was a video shared. A video. In the video, it shows a young girl being attacked. She was being killed. She was brutally killed. That was being shared by people that stating that it is an incident held in Manipur, connecting what is happening today. It is not actually, it was not actually held at Manipur. It was not the incident. Something captured was captured in Manipur. It was taken place in somewhere else, but wrongly it was spread without knowing. What has happened at last? We are creating false information and we are creating agitation, and we are creating, we are inducing emotions of people that has huge impact, and we should morally be bound. I request all participants here, whenever we get any information, it could be any kind of data. It can be text data, it can be picture, or it can be images, or it can be video. We should check. There are portals. There are portals for fact finding. And you will get the information, whether the picture or the information shared is true or not, you will get it. Once you find it, if it is true, then we can share it well. Okay, that I think.
So actually, we've had an explanation of the term. The word sharenting means this new concern regarding parents sharing their kids' pictures.
Oh, sharenting. Okay. Sharenting, right? Okay, I have misunderstood. I'm sorry. This is serious concern. Just with emotional, we sometimes we overwhelm with emotions. For example, birthdays or some some pictures of personal timings that we have with our children, some achievements. We need to be very, very careful in sharing those images in public. What is the use of sharing those in public? For example, I have a picture of my own child. If I share it with Christian Housel, she's known to me. And just by sharing it with her, nothing will go wrong. I have trust on her. I can very well share. But sharing it over social media, that will harm a lot. And, we should respect the privacy of the child. The child may not be aware of, but it can be misused by somebody else. The picture can be traced, and they are vulnerable. The children are vulnerable, particularly girl children are vulnerable. So it can be misused. So my humble suggestion would be, it is better avoid posting the pictures of children over social media or with any platform, so that we can avoid the consequences. It is better if you want to share it with your own neighbors and dear and dear ones. If it is necessary, then it's better. Only to the known people. Yeah.
I have my two sisters both have kids, and one of them doesn't put any pictures of her kids on any social media, and the other one does. And so, we also have choices here, but I think at the very least, what kinds of policies do you think that, faith organizations, schools, should they have policies in place regarding the sharing of photos?
That is a nice question. For example, at your house, there are two children. One, the child does not like to get exposed, maybe pictures, but the other one likes to share. Before 18, when they are minors, it is the parents' role to educate them. Sometimes they may be influenced by their peers, that they will be very happy sharing their pictures in social media. For example, whenever they go out, dining out, they take pictures and share it. Even minors do that. And the others who follow them, they know that where they are, wherever they visit, they know that this child visits these places. They become vulnerable. Trafficking is also possible. Human trafficking is also possible. So in that case, it is the role of the parents and teachers to educate them that the pictures of children at occasions, few occasions, like when they come together for parties, when they come together for some occasions, it's better they share it within the group which they can trust, whom they can trust, people with whom they can trust, not general. And we should educate them. They may not be happy. When we tell them not to post, they may not be happy, but we should educate them the consequences. That's what I told you. So the consequences may be something else. We cannot imagine the consequences. I don't say that it happens for everyone, but it happens in India. Pictures being morphed, being threatened. For example, pictures being downloaded and morphed, and by which people threat the children directly, they get money. They get money. The children is afraid of, coming out with the complaint with their parents. They don't feel comfortable. These are all some of the consequences. So we need to just tell them the consequences. We need to conduct educational programs and awareness programs at campuses, and we need to have policies. Digital policies for every campus should be black and white. It should be made known to others. Now, every campus, every educational institution should have policies. For example, we collect data of the students. Where do we use the data? To whom we share the data? For example, pictures cannot be easily downloaded. The pictures collected for admissions should not be shared should not be used by the teachers ourselves. It should be used for particular, what are the purposes? We should draft it well. That's what we call by digital policy. And digital policy should govern all of us. Whether the teacher, just because I'm teacher, I cannot, just taking, students for granted, taking these data for granted. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's true that the photos can be used, and it's also true that it can lead bullies, to the students, and it can also, even in the worst case, lead to trafficking. So and that's for minors, and that's for those who are above the age of consent too, and so I thank you for really getting us thinking about the possible implications of our online use. And I think there's a general question. Several people have asked how much legislation is needed. And what I'm hearing you saying is that there's a lot of personal responsibility and a responsibility for educators to create awareness for us to, check information, guard our privacy and this kind of stuff. But there's also a need for some legislation. Do you have anything to say about the balance there?
Certainly. Every government, they have got our own legislations. For example, Government of India, we have got, strong cyber security laws. But the thing is that we do not have enough, we have not created enough awareness among those. We are not aware. We as educators, we are not aware of the laws of Indian government. Recently, that was, a few years back, it was proposed. We are not aware. If we are not aware, how can we expect the children to be aware of those laws? How could we go get, grievances, reported to someone? Now, government is repeatedly just giving, constant advertisements are given, but still it is our role, parents and teachers, to promote those laws among the students. And my opinion, as you said, as Christian, you said, we personally, we should be morally bound. For example, before committing something, before doing something over online, over digital, using digital technology and so on, my moral base, ethical base should guide me. Not simply doing and afterwards repent or afterwards worry for it or bother for it. No, I should be morally guided personally. There may be laws, but at the same time, I should be guided on my own. So we should be morally bound, morally guided, number one. Secondly, we should make the laws, as educators, as citizens, true citizens of our own countries. We are from different countries. We need to write to the government. We need to write to the government, drafting, we can suggest. Every now and then government asks for, opinions from stakeholders. It can be general public, it can be educators, it can be industries, it can be children, it can be from any stakeholders. You can suggest the governments to strongly come out with new regulations, because whenever we have we update, technology gets updated. We need to update the laws also. For example, every day you get new crimes, new type of crimes. So accordingly, we need to change the policies also. Policies, who create policies? It is we elect people, and we can suggest to the policy makers, or senators, MPs, MLAs, or ministers. We can write to them. For example, if something has happened relevant to that, you can just make a research. See, this is where a great role can be, the educators can play a great role. For example, we can write projects. We can empirical projects, understanding the influences of cyber crimes, or impacts of cyber crimes. What are the different cyber crimes that students get affected, or students being victim? And accordingly, we can collect data and we can come out findings. Those findings will guide policies. Okay, those suggestions could be given or sent to governments that can become policies, that can become laws. Because these days, though the laws are there, for example, I am closely connected with cybersecurity people work here, cops, cybersecurity police people. They say, people are afraid of coming out complaining. Though we receive complaints, we are not able to do it because we are given with less facilities. So the laws should enable them, to empower them to protect the people over digital arena. So it is up to us to make policies, give suggestions for the government or for senators or lawmakers to strengthen the policies, strengthen the measures. With regard to our own campuses, we need to have strong digital policies. It should be black and white. It should be displayed everywhere, where the students for getting. It should be for the students to be viewed wherever they go around the campuses. Yes.
I hear the call loud and clear that there's a need for education, and there's a need for us to all get ourselves up to speed, because this is confronting us all these days. And there's a need for, therefore, personal responsibility, and there's a need for legislation. And it's we who will also call for and then make legislation effective. And so thank you very much for giving us these big ideas, and then also breaking it down into some really practical tools that we can all use to be more ethical and more responsible of our online use of the emerging and digital technologies. So let's give Dr. Gerald a hand, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Very kind of you, madam, for your encouraging words. You have been so kind and magnanimous encouraging me, and I'm thankful to all the participants. They were very much interactive, encouraging me every now and then. Completely, they were interactive. It is not an easy job to sit, after completing their regular schedule. They should have had 2-3 hours of classes, and they sat here for 2-3 hours continuously interacting with the speakers. That's something great. We shall appreciate them also. Also, I thank all the organizers, particularly Christian Housel, completely listened, and you have given your feedback. And Dr. Darling Selvi is there, and Dr. is there, and the other persons of Globe Ethics are there. So thankful to every one of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope I have answered all the questions, madam. Have I?
I think so. And I think we're running out of time. So, I think that people are also free to contact you and us. And we also have another day tomorrow. So we'll have more interaction, and I hope you'll be with us, and we can still continue to interact through the Q&A, even writing as well as speaking, and through the chat. And then, of course, this is launching a discussion which will continue. So we're very happy to know about you and to be working with you, and we look forward to that continuing.
Sure.
Okay, let me just answer 1 or 2 points, and then I'll turn the floor back to Darling Selvi to close us out for the day. In fact, Globe Ethics has taken up this theme of the ethics of digital and emerging technologies as a priority for the next 5 years. And so we see that this is an urgent need in our world. And, it's ever present, as Dr. Gerald so clearly showed us, and it's speeding up with the emergence of AI technologies. And so, this question about deep fakes, could it be that legislation to mark any AI generated content would be a helpful one? How do we handle this, and how do we integrate it into our lives, and how do we act ethically and responsibly? They're big questions. So from Globe Ethics side, I'll be saying a little more tomorrow about some of what we're doing and plan to do. And so you're all welcome and invited to tune in then and into the future. And I'll just put in the chat here one book that we've recently published, which is about data ethics. And this is something, any book that we produce is put into our library, and it's available for download free of charge, because we work in the open access kind of Creative Commons spirit. And so this book, it gets into many aspects of these digital technologies and might be a nice resource for you. Several people have asked about the global ranking that Globe project that Globe Ethics is working on, and I'll say a little more about that tomorrow. But briefly here, we've done the first round of this in this past year, and we look forward to launching a second round next year. But the results of the first year are available, and I'll say more about that tomorrow. With that, and with thanks, I turn the floor back to Darling Selvi, Dr. Darling Selvi.
So, well, good evening, everyone. So it's so happy to see even more than 300 people at 5 o'clock, especially in South India. So, well, that wraps up the day one of the international webinar on ethics of digital and emerging technologies. Though it's a non-stop session for nearly 2 hours in the dissemination of knowledge on various issues, especially with technology, positive comments are posing in the chat box continuously regarding the resources as well as the resource person. With regards to the resources we got, we learned a lot, like Slido.com, key values, cybersecurity, online harassment and bullying, digital addiction, e-commerce ethics, social media and democracy, digital divide, ethical use of big data, ethical artificial intelligence and ethical challenges, Creative Commons and in details with demo, and then open educational resources, and finally, how to develop the e-content with our own ethically. It's like droplets out of ocean, highlighting the pros and cons of ethical concern on technology. The queries are responded meticulously with practical issues. Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful presentation. On behalf of the Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Ranianna Government College for Women, Tirunelveli, and Globe Ethics South Asia, Bangalore, I'd like to thank you all for making time in your busy schedules to join us here today. My special gratitude to all the speakers of the day, Reverend Dr. Nandikaram, Dr. Vimal Gerald, for enlightening all of us with their knowledge, experience, and expertise. I gratefully remember all the team of Globe Ethics for their valuable contribution for the successful conduct of this program. So we will meet again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Indian Standard Time with a great deal of knowledge. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Tomorrow we have a demonstration on, I'm sorry, with your permission, with the organizer's permission, tomorrow we have demonstrations on emerging technologies, which would help us for smart teaching, learning, and evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So I'm closing the session.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
you.